Sactown Sports
Headlines.
Happy Thursday, I'm Simone, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The rivalry chapters of the Kings and Warriors continue to be written as the two I-80 foes gave us another spirited preseason contest.
Stops, launches, scores the three-pointer, 116-115. The Warriors' first lead since it was 22-21 in the final minute of the first. And the Warriors stay unbeaten in the preseason thanks to a huge fourth quarter from Steph Curry.
Sacramento Kings will conclude the preseason portion of their schedule tonight when they face the Utah Jazz at Golden One Center. Drive Guys will be lacing you up with their hot takes and need-to-knows before that 7 p.m. tip. Our exclusive game night coverage jumps off at 5:30 right here on Sactown Sports, of course over at SactownSports.com, and as always on our Sactown Sports app. And we didn't forget about the NFL. Week 7 opens up with the Jaguars pulling up on the Saints with kickoff slated for 5:15. I'm Simone. Those are your headlines. Welcome in to the Drive Guys.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
All right, I know that as preseason games go, that one kind of stung a little bit for Kings fans. But it's interesting, Kyle Draper, Whitey Gleason, I think you and I are coming in today from different angles. My feeling was, you know what? That one stung. That was kind of a, rabbit punch. But the Kings played a lot better. They were competitive. And you know what? We're almost done with the preseason. Regular season starts. So I came in feeling pretty good about things, trying to be positive. And I know you're still having a hard time, and I understand and respect it. You're still dealing with some of the things about that loss that weren't pleasant.
This is why I hate the Warriors. What we saw last night. Last night to me was not about the Sacramento Kings and why I'm upset this morning. I feel good about my Kings. I thought they did a lot of good things. We'll get to that in Drape's sake. My guy Keegan Murray, you're the dude. You are that dude. Trust me on that. That's not why I'm upset right now, Whitey. I'm watching that game last night, and I'm listening to Bob Fitzgerald and Kalina Azubuike. Kalina's my guy. Kalina and I go back to when he played at Kentucky. I covered him at Kentucky. But last night felt like a Warriors infomercial. Yeah. And so I'm watching that game, and I'm like, man, this is just painting the Warriors in all this great light. This is everything the Warriors do is awesome. And then to lose the game at that, it's like adding insult to injury. And so what I'm upset about, one, is the bad call at the end when Steph Curry, half his body is out of bounds. And because the official called it, off Herder, they got to stick with it because inconclusive evidence. If he would have just called what he saw right there, Steph Curry laying out of bounds, it would have been Kings basketball. I'm upset about that. I'm upset about Steph Curry celebrating like he just won Game 8 of the playoff series against the Kings. Dude, it's preseason. Calm down. You hit a game winner. Whoop-de-freaking-do, Steph Curry. Steph Curry, to me, I know he's great at everything. Great golfer, great guy, great husband, family man, great basketball player. But I don't like watching him anymore. I can't stand to watch Steph Curry anymore. And here's why, Whitey. I told you I was going to come in fired up. Here's exactly why. Every three-point attempt, he's kicking out his legs. He's falling down. He's trying to draw a foul. Play the freaking game, Steph Curry. Play basketball. Get up. Stop flopping around there. He's looking for a foul call every single time. And so watching that last night just put me in a bad mood. And it had nothing to do with the Kings. It had everything to do with their opponent.
One thing that upset me had something to do with the Kings, and that is Kevin Huerter, who had a nice bounce-back night, missing the free throw. Make the free throw. Crucial, obviously. Then you can foul and so on. We all know that. I found Fitz has been on this show, and he actually has been on this station because he did 49er games during the preseason, and he came on our show to talk about that. One of the things that really bugged me about the announcing last night, though, was the way Chris Paul now, and obviously, Warrior announcers have not been big Chris Paul fans over the years. But now, everything he does, he's like a magician. It's like he's got there are 14 fouls. Watch this. Somehow, some way, he's going to draw a fifth, and then he gets a rebound and JaVale McGee tackles him. So it's like, that's an obvious stuff. Oh, did you see what Chris Paul did there? Oh, he worked his magic. And the play where he flopped and falls over, and De'Aaron Fox says, what are you doing? Oh, you see that? He wasn't flopping. He was selling the call. There's a difference.
And we don't get to watch the Warriors broadcasters because, they're not up here. We're Sacramento Kings. We're watching the Kings games. And so I didn't know there's a level of homerism I'm okay with. But as a Sacramento Kings fan, now if I said this in the crossover, if this would have been Charlotte, if this would have been Cleveland, it wouldn't have bothered me as much. But because it's Golden State Warriors and they have this arrogance about them, and it's not just the players, you can hear it in the broadcast as well, that turns me off, man. That especially as a Kings fans, that upsets me.
That's kind of how they do it, because I've subscribed to their games for a couple years, so we watch most of their telecasts in addition to the ones up here. Part of the problem was, let's face it, part of the problem was it's a game on NBA TV, so if you're a Kings fan, you assume you might get something unbiased, when in fact, NBA TV, they have their center court telecast, but also every so often they'll pick up a team's broadcast. And last night, we had to watch the Warriors broadcast. So a close game between two rivals when you're watching the other team's broadcast, which is they're all slanted towards a home team.
Yeah.
That was tough.
It was more than tough. It was almost unbearable, because what's happening is when the Kings are kicking their butt, it's okay. I'm like, whatever. You can have your stories, Fitz and Kalina. Y'all can talk about,
are way up. Hey, look at the park.
Right. You can have that.
This is going to be great.
But to have those homers, and then Steph Curry scoring 16 in the fourth, and it got to be too much.
Yeah.
And I could tell just sitting there. I always say I'm objective, unbiased, but not when it comes to the Kings. Like, it bothered the heck out of me. My blood is boiling out there. I'm watching Steph hit shot after shot, him celebrating, him kicking out his legs, and that just bothers me, man. And so as great as the Kings played last night, I wish they would have won. Or if you're going to lose, don't lose on a Steph Curry three-pointer like that.
So which camp are you in today? And don't get me wrong, I don't disagree with Kyle. We're just coming at it from different angles. He, like a lot of fans, is really frustrated and upset, right, from the way that went down last night.
Yes.
And I'm more trying to just say, you know what? We're almost done with the preseason. I'm looking ahead to next week in the regular season. How about you? Where are you today? 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. I know I got Drape's Takes coming up here, and there were some positive signs, so that's good. But how about my guy last night? How about Kobe Jones? And I don't want to step if you got it.
I got a Drape's Take on Kobe Jones, but
that.
No, I'll let you talk about Kobe Jones. What did you think about him last night?
I think he's showing that he belongs on the floor in some high leverage situations, at least in the preseason. I think he's before our very eyes gaining the coaching staff's trust a little bit.
I agree with you. And even before the game, we heard Mike Brown sing his praises. And then for Kobe to go out there and back it up like that, he's just a heady player, a smart player. He competes hard on both ends. And I agree, man. They found something in this second round pick. I'm not going to give my full take just yet because there is a but when it comes to that. But I was encouraged by what I saw for him. And so this whole talk, this narrative, man, if the Kings suffer any injuries, we're seeing that this team is actually deeper than maybe people are giving them credit for.
Mm-hmm. And again, I don't want to step on Drape's Takes, but this was kind of interesting watching the game. Davion Mitchell was on fire last night, and he's making threes, and they got the guy who is their head of business ops or whatever, and right? And because again, it's not a national telecast, and they're talking about the WNBA, and we've sold all these tickets, and it's like they don't even care. They don't even notice that Davion Mitchell hit another three.
Exactly. And the Davion, that was his best game I've seen, obviously, of the preseason. I'll talk about him coming up in Drape's Takes. And that's the thing. When the Kings were doing something good, when they were, making their runs, knocking down threes, and Keegan's going on, they did give Keegan some love. Kalina did talk highly about Keegan Murray, but it was like, dude, pay attention to what's going on in the game. Davion Mitchell, if this would have been a national broadcast, this would have been a storyline. Davion Mitchell's development from the 3-point, because that's going to be key for Sacramento. They really didn't dive into that. We didn't get any of that. And I understand they're Warriors announcers, but it would have been nice for Davion to get some love, because he's going to be a part of the big picture for the Sacramento Kings.
I'll tell you another thing that Kings fans aren't going to want to hear, but for what it's worth, my opinion, watching the Warriors last night, I'd been thinking that, Chris Paul, it's going to be difficult for him. Is he going to start? Is he going to come off the bench? If he starts, then what's Clay going to do? And I thought they're going to have some issues. Last night, Chris Paul, for the first time in his career, as you know, Kyle, came off the bench, and it worked. And it was a little disturbing to see the Warriors put those pieces together. It's a long ways to go. Season hasn't started yet. But that was a little disturbing to me to see that, actually working and him playing so well, Chris Paul, that is, in the fourth quarter.
And give Chris Paul a lot of credit, because he's such a smart basketball player. We talked to him so much beforehand. How's he going to fit in? Chris Paul is the type of ball player that can fit in any system, because he's unselfish. He's looking to make the pass. He's not looking to go get his 20 to 25 points. And his high basketball IQ is so critical, I think, to this Warriors team. When Steph comes off those screens, when Steph is running around, it's not Jordan Poole with the ball looking for his shot. It's Chris Paul looking for Steph Curry. And they're going to get back to, what? Steph is the guy. Chris Paul is going to, create great shots. I thought Chris did a great job not only finding Steph, but finding some of their bigs as well. Some of the, pocket passes that he did when he drove the lane, he was able to find guys.
And he gets that 14 to 16 footer anytime he wants
right.
off the screen.
Anytime he wants. I mean, he's just a heady player. And I don't know when all the pieces are together, how it's going to look, because you also have to talk about the Warriors defensively. And so can you go long stretches with a CP3 and a Steph backcourt, or do you need a bigger backcourt? Clay and Steph, Draymond back out there. And so I think what you'll see from the Warriors, situational basketball late in games when they need a stop. I don't know if CP3 is going to be out there on the floor.
I'll tell you what, I know it's preseason. That game was probably, because everybody was in, that was a better game than at least half of the games you'll see during the regular season.
Yes, that was
agree?
Great. That was a great game. That was highly contested. You could tell both teams wanted to win. The stars showed up. How about my guy De'Aaron Fox? Once again in the fourth, we saw fourth quarter Fox make some big shots. Maybe he gave that shot up, passed it to Davion, I think, for the shot to win the game. I don't mind that. That was the right play. Maybe an extra pass by Davion or something like that. But no, I thought overall it was a good night for the Kings.
By the way, Sacramento State football is back at home this Saturday night for a nationally televised primetime game versus Montana State. The Bobcats kickoff 7:30 p.m. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Stick around. We're right back with Drape's Takes on the Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
As a mom, I'd do anything to keep my child out of physical pain. As a doctor, I know that growth spurts can cause pain in my child's feet, and that can affect their legs and back too.
This is Dr. Pamela Maida, a board-certified orthopedic surgeon.
Children especially benefit from arch supports as a sturdy and supportive foundation for their developing feet. If your kids have pain, then I recommend Youth Arch Supports from the Good Feet store.
Youth Arch Supports are designed to alleviate, even eliminate common pain in the feet, knees, hip, or back. If your child is physically active with sports, clubs, or even on the playground, they may benefit from the comfort and support found in Good Feet Youth Arch Supports.
I firmly believe that investing in Youth Arch Supports for your child or teen is one of the best decisions you can make to support their feet.
See how Youth Arch Supports can help with a free arch support fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
That was a tough one last night for a preseason game. In the Bay Area today, they're making fun of us. The Kings fans are upset because they lost a preseason game, but the Warriors wanted to win that game too.
Oh yeah, they Steph and those guys came in. That fourth quarter looked like a late regular season game or a playoff game or something. Like the level of intensity, the playmaking on both ends of the floor was at a high level.
Yeah, I have the box score for the fourth quarter here. I don't advise any Kings fans to look at that for too long. Don't stare directly at it. But it's time now for Drape's Takes after that wonderfully frustrating and entertaining preseason game.
All right. I'm not going to talk about the Warriors with Drape's Takes. This is all about our Sacramento Kings and what I saw last night. I'll start number one. My first star of the game, Keegan Murray. I thought Keegan Murray, that was the best offensive game he has played in a Sacramento Kings uniform. And forget about the points. It's not about the points, Whitey. 24 points. He scored more than that. He had 8 rebounds. That's great. But it's the way he was able to do it. His first 3 buckets, he had a 3-ball, he had a drive and finish in the paint, and he had a one-legged step-back jumper. His offensive arsenal was on full display last night. He took 18 shots. I said I want him around 15 shots per game. If this guy's taking 18 shots, that means he's not deferring to De'Aaron Fox. He's not deferring to Domantas Sabonis. Last night, I thought he was the best player on the floor for Sacramento. And if I'm a Kings fan, I'm extremely encouraged by that. I need that Keegan Murray night in and night out.
Yes. Amen. The only thing I didn't like is he only took 1 shot in the fourth quarter. But yes, otherwise.
And that's De'Aaron Fox time, right? That's when Fox usually takes over.
Yeah, but Keegan Murray definitely made the Warriors feel him from the jump.
Yes, exactly. And so I think this guy's going to have a big season. I think he's key to what Sacramento does. There's a reason why the Kings have built that 18-point lead, and a big reason why was Keegan Murray. I mean, his ability to recognize the mismatch. Chris Paul was guarding him one time. Remember that? And he did the step back off one leg over CP3. Last year, he might have passed it or continued to run an offense. He needs to call his own number night in and night out. And I was encouraged. He took 18 shots, second only to De'Aaron Fox. I would not be upset with that throughout the regular. If he was second in shot attempts on this team, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think that's probably the blueprint, right?
Yes.
You'd love that to happen.
Exactly. And because Domantas Sabonis, as great as he is, Domas can get you 19 on 10 shots, 11 shots. Like, remember, he shot better than 60% from the field. Plus, he'll get to the line as well. I think Keegan has to be that second field goal attempt guy. He has to be the guy. And I think if he is, and I know we're talking offense, and they had a great offense last season, we don't need as much from Harrison Barnes. We maybe don't need as much from Kevin Huerter because Keegan has taken that next step. Yeah. So that's Drape's take number one.
Yeah, and the cool thing about that is, we look at the Kings last year and say they were so great offensively. How could they be better? Well, if Keegan Murray takes the steps the Kings hope he takes, then I don't know if they're better offensively, but in a lot of ways they're harder to guard.
Yes, exactly. And because here's what Keegan can do that I don't think anybody else can do on this Kings team. He's 6'8". He's strong. And so a lot of times he'll have an advantage. We saw it out there last night. Chris Paul trying to guard him. Klay Thompson trying to check him. I mean, that should be barbecue chicken for Keegan Murray. And what I saw last night is he has that mindset now of if he has the advantage, he's going to take it and go right at somebody.
So, yeah, Keegan Murray last night, 35 minutes, 24 points. By the way, it looks like tonight, Mike Brown says everybody's going to play. We just don't know how much.
Yeah, we just don't know how much. Final preseason game against Utah at home at Golden One Center. After this, I'm going to actually head down there and check it out in person. Not working tonight. I'm going to just be a fan. But I'd be surprised if guys played more than 15, 20 minutes. If I'm Mike Brown, maybe you start them, give them some warm-up, but then pull them by the second quarter and let the reserves play. So I'm looking forward to that. My second takeaway from last night, Whitey, is Davion Mitchell, you saw the work he put in the offseason pay off in an actual game. He looked so comfortable shooting the ball, and this guy needs some minutes. One reason why he didn't play much in that playoff series last year in Game 7 is because of his offensive limitations last year. Mike Brown, the offense was struggling, so he wanted to go with a more offensive.
Davion recognized that.
Right.
Fact.
He recognized that, and he went and worked on it. And, we had seen him post videos. You always see guys post summer workout videos, and it's like, whatever. Let's see, what you do in the game. That was amazing to see from him, especially in the second half. I think it was the fourth quarter. He hit that corner three, and Malik Monk went boom. Mm-hmm. Like that's what I'm talking. That's what I need to see from Davion. And here's the thing, Whitey. We saw a little bit of that his rookie year when De'Aaron Fox went down with an injury. He averaged 19 points per game when Fox was out with an injury towards the end of his rookie year. And so Davion has that ability. I'm not saying he's going to be at 18, 20 point per, but he has to keep teams honest by knocking down that 3-point shot.
I've been saying it since the playoffs last year. This guy is capable of being a much better shooter than his numbers showed last year, and he's well on his way to proving that this year.
Yeah, you're right. 4 of 6 last night from 3, 5 of 7 overall, 14 points. He didn't have a steal last night. He only played 16 minutes and change. Mike Brown went with the starters an awful lot. I would like to see Davion probably in that 20-minute range. Maybe you even have him and Fox on the floor together. If he's knocking down threes, man, I think he has to get more time. I think you could play him with Fox a little bit more because then now Davion's knocking down triples.
Side note, I think last night, the way Davion Mitchell played, it's a great example of how, if you're a fan, you look at box scores, be very careful of the plus minus in any one game.
Yes.
Over the course of a season, okay, but in any one game, he played really well last night. He was -9. He didn't play like a -9.
Right.
So the plus minus for one game can be very tricky. Don't put too much stock in it.
He was a team worst -9, but we know he wasn't the worst player out on the floor. And plus minus is only to be used when it suits your argument. When we have discussions, trust me, throughout the season, I'll be bringing up plus minus, even though I don't believe in plus minus, but to prove my point, I will bring it up. And here's my third take. And everybody's talking about this guy. Social media is a buzz about this guy. Colby Jones, I thought, was tremendous last night. Finished with 10 points, 4 of 8 shooting, a couple of assists, had a steal. And to me, he played 15 minutes and change, 0 turnovers. He took care of the ball. I thought he's a heady player. He competes defensively, and he's doing everything asked of him if you're Mike Brown.
Yeah, very, very versatile. 2 assists last night. Combo guard. He's a perfect player. In today's NBA because of all the emphasis on positionless basketball.
But here's where my take differs from a lot of people out there. I'm seeing a lot of tweets out there, a lot of comments out there. You need to find a way to get Colby Jones on the floor. He's got to be in the rotation. Who you taking out? Who's going to sit on the bench? I'm looking at the Kings roster right now. HB, Keegan, Domas, Herter, Fox, your starters. Malik Monk, Davion, that takes your top 7. You got to throw in Trey Lyles. He didn't play last night. That's 8 guys. I also think JaVale McGee will be a part of it. That's not. Are you telling me now all of a sudden Chris Duarte's not playing? That's 10 guys. So I think it's going to be hard. As much as we like what we're seeing from Colby Jones, I need you to tell me who you sitting on the bench.
Right.
Whose minutes is he taking?
But obviously, it's a great problem to have.
Yes, it is. And that's why Mike Brown gets paid the big dollars, right? Mm-hmm. And so, but I want to caution people, Colby needs to play. He needs to be out there. I still don't see it happening. I think, I think he'll be in situationally. He might get the Terrence Davis treatment a little bit.
And you don't want to overexpose a rookie. You want to ease him into it a little
bit. You want to ease him into it. But, what's interesting is, if Colby keeps this up, he makes winning plays. You look at Herter, Colby Jones, and Chris Duarte. Those are the 3 guys. Mm-hmm. To me, 2 of those 3 are going to get minutes, extended minutes. Is Colby going to push Chris Duarte? I think Kevin Herter is still fine. As much as everybody talks about him, this week and him coming off the bench the other night and everything like that, I think Kevin Herter's spot is still fine. Now, if you're Monty McNair and you see a log jam at that position, might you do something and address another area of need before the trade deadline? Mm-hmm. Keep an eye on that also.
Yep, that could be one of the biggest subplots of the whole season for the Kings.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, because look, if you got Colby Jones coming on, he's on his rookie deal, a 2nd-round pick, and he's playing extremely well, maybe that makes somebody else expendable. Maybe, you can be able to flip, a couple of players and get a better asset or something like that.
Are you saying he's the Brock Purdy of the Kings?
He might be. He might even be better than Brock Purdy, actually.
Now, hold on. Hold on, how you got silly.
No, but you know what? Give Monty a lot of credit. That guy is a player. I just don't see where the minutes are coming from early in the season for him.
Mm-hmm. Is that Drape's takes for now?
That's Drape's take. That's all I got.
Yeah,
that's it.
Great stuff. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, the Kevin Herter question. Where is all that today as we continue here with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports?
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award? Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. We're looking at a day that's going to feel very summer-like. It'll warm up this afternoon with plenty of sunshine and light winds. Daytime highs peak in the low 90s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Winter's coming, so let's kick off the cold season right and get your heater all tuned up. Now just $79. No matter how cold it gets outside, you'll always be warm and toasty inside. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, Sacramento, join us at Hornet Stadium this Saturday for 916 night as the top-ranked Sacramento State Hornets are back home for a nationally televised primetime game. Kickoff is at 7:30 as the Hornets welcome in the Montana State Bobcats to Hornet Stadium in a crucial Big Sky matchup. Help us pack Hornet Stadium and show your Sacramento pride. Stick around after the game for post-game fireworks. Get your tickets now at hornetsports.com. Stingers up and go Hornets. It's time now for the Silver and Black Report, brought to you by ACR Home Services. For all your roofing and solar needs, visit acrhomeservices.com. Back-to-back home wins has put Las Vegas back to 500 at 3-3. To get over that mark, they need a road win at Soldier Field on Sunday. Both starting quarterbacks, Jimmy G and Justin Fields, are banged up, so which team's other players will step up? The all-time series record between the Silver and Black and Chicago, 8 wins apiece. That is your Silver and Black Report. Let ACR Home Services be your one-stop shop for all your home needs, starting with unbeatable roofing services. Right now, get a new roof and receive $1,000 off that roof. So sign up today and save with no payment for up to 12 months. And ACR is more than just a roofing company. Whether it's roofing, solar, electrical work, you name it, when you choose ACR Home Services, you're not just getting a contractor, you're partnering with the team that's invested in your satisfaction. That's ACR Home Services.
Igor, my faithful companion, it is time to prepare for the night. The shadows grow long, and the creatures of the night stir with excitement.
Yes, Master Dracula. What do you require of me?
I need you to fire up the hearse. Elk Grove Kia is having a Halloween sale that is to die for. We're going to upgrade you a new car worthy of the Prince of Darkness. I'm so excited. It is making my blood shiver.
But Master, with your credit history, aren't you worried you're going to get turned down?
Igor, shut up. Elk Grove Kia's finance department has over 100 years of experience. They can even get me approved, even with my troubled past. And Elk Grove Kia's exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on all new Kias, it's almost like having an immortal car.
Elk Grove Kia's Halloween sale is so good, it's scaring the competition. In fact, it's so scary, we can't even advertise the pricing. So whether you're in need of a new or used car, make your way to Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Or visit us at elkgrovekia.com.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
Happy Thursday, I'm Simone, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The rivalry chapters of the Kings and Warriors continue to be written as the two I-80 foes gave us another spirited preseason contest.
Stops, launches, scores the three-pointer, 116-115. The Warriors' first lead since it was 22-21 in the final minute of the first. And the Warriors stay unbeaten in the preseason thanks to a huge fourth quarter from Steph Curry.
Sacramento Kings will conclude the preseason portion of their schedule tonight when they face the Utah Jazz at Golden One Center. Drive Guys will be lacing you up with their hot takes and need-to-knows before that 7 p.m. tip. Our exclusive game night coverage jumps off at 5:30 right here on Sactown Sports, of course over at SactownSports.com, and as always on our Sactown Sports app. And we didn't forget about the NFL. Week 7 opens up with the Jaguars pulling up on the Saints with kickoff slated for 5:15. I'm Simone. Those are your headlines. Let's get you back in to more Drive Guys.
Yeah, Kings and Jazz tonight. Kings wrapping up the preseason. And this weekend, Fan Fest. So, Kyle Draper, you're going to be answering some fan questions, right?
Yeah. Me and Katie will be out there. Katie Christensen will be out there interacting with fans, and we're going to do a Q&A as well. I believe it starts, is it 1:30 till 4. So we'll be out there all afternoon, man, hanging out, interacting with fans.
I thought maybe we could warm you up for that by just going over some, Kings fans have a lot on their minds today. Go over some of these comments. They're not all questions, but you can respond to them.
I can respond to comments?
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah, let's do that.
All right, from Pike916. He says, guys I want taking last-second shots. Fox, Keegs, Monk, and surprisingly, Lyles is on my list.
I'm okay with that. But here's the thing. Anybody can hit one shot. If you've played basketball, you understand when you're trying to defend somebody, anybody can make one shot. And so if I'm Sacramento, I was okay with Davion shooting that last night. Sure, the Warriors, that's what they wanted. But we've seen him hit shots all night long. And so to me, sure, you won Fox. This is the thing about LeBron James. Remember, he used to always get criticized. Yes. He didn't take the last shot, but he made the right basketball play. You make the right basketball play and you live with the results, people. It's not, I don't want Fox taking a contested, he's double teamed trying to force something. He made the right play, and I'm okay with that.
All right. Dwayne Baker says Sasha has to show something tonight. He has looked lost. And Dwayne Baker also says all the hosts are sidestepping the Sasha issue. So here we go, Dwayne.
Dwayne, you catching me on a bad day, big fella, man. I'm about to knuckle up. No, I agree 100% with you. Where's Sasha been at since the opener? Since he scored 12 points on 4 or 5 shooting. I need to see more from Sasha. Heck, he needs to see more for himself, because here's the thing. When I watch Sasha, he looks a little lost out there. He had one defensive possession. I forget who it was who had the ball. And
I think it was the ball was on top.
Yeah.
And he was guarding the guy with the ball at the point, and then the Warriors kind of overloaded the right side, and Kuminga was wide open, and Sasha just kind of stood there and watched it all happen, and didn't rotate over.
And didn't rotate, nor did he, try and take away the pass. Like, this guy's wide open. You got to see that and play it defensively. But there was another possession where him and, I forget what the Kings player, but there was usually they like to switch things a lot. This time they didn't switch, and Sasha kept trailing the guy with the ball. And so you had 2 guys guarding the ball, and Saric up top wide open for a 3. And it's like, no, dude, you got to understand your defense. I guarantee you it was not designed to run 2 at the ball and leave a guy wide open at the top.
Right.
Usually they like to switch that. And so I think, I agree 100% with Dwayne. Sasha needs to show something. This is our biggest signing this offseason. Like, this was the big splash. This is the EuroLeague MVP, and he has to show something. And now I get why Mike Brown said he might not be in the rotation. And so I'm not going to abandon Sasha. I don't want fans to abandon Sasha. I'm going to give him 20 games, but he might not be in the rotation, and that disappoints me.
Alan brought up something really interesting about Sasha today. Alan was pointing out that some people may look at this and say, this team was not very good defensively last year, and so then they go out and get a guy and bring in a guy who's not known for his defense. But that's true, but it's not that simple, as you know, because they've had Sasha. He's been an asset for years,
right.
And it was not until after last season that he wanted to come over.
Yeah.
It's not like they went out and got him.
Right.
They already had him.
Right.
Had to wait for him to decide to come over.
Yeah, and how much longer are you going to wait, right? He's 28 now. Like, do you want to bring him over when he's 30? No, now is the time to bring him over. And you say that about Sasha, but I could also add they traded for Chris Duarte.
Right.
They drafted Kobe Jones, and so it's not like they didn't address the defense. I just think Sasha, it's going to take some time. But I would like to see something out of him. Kobe Jones looks good. We've seen that. How come Sasha can't look good? And so I think this is a big game for Sasha. I think he's pressing a little bit.
It's also got to be hard, doesn't it, for a guy who was the MVP in the EuroLeague. So basically, he steps on the floor, he's the man.
Yes.
And when he steps on the floor here, he is not the man. So it's like he's got, what do I have to do? What do I have to? Before it was he did what he wanted to do, basically.
Yeah, and the ball was in his hands a lot.
Yeah.
Out there in EuroLeague play, and now he's being asked to maximize the few opportunities he does have, and limited. It's not like he has his usage is high and he can make mistakes and still like when he touches the ball, especially in the Kings offense. The Kings offense is predicated on moving the basketball. So it's not like you can get in your bag a whole lot or anything like that. And so I'm when we talk about what we're looking at tonight, Sasha is number 1, 2, and 3. I need to see him have a better game.
Family Schlegel says, I hope Sasha gets lots of minutes, but I don't know how he's going to cover Markkanen. Well, you don't have to worry about it.
Markkanen's not playing tonight. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Problem solved.
Yeah, problem solved. And, especially with Utah playing a lot of their backups, this might be the game. Like, if I'm Mike Brown, I know he talked about playing the starters, and to me, I'm running Sasha out there 30 minutes tonight. Like, Sasha, you're going to get the Keegan Murray Summer League kind of treatment, because you got to build up this guy's confidence right now. Because like Dwayne said, and we all see it, the eye test, at times he looks lost out there. And so I would like Mike Brown to say, Sasha, tonight we're rolling, it's no Duarte. So you got 30 minutes tonight. You're going to play tonight. And so that's what I'm looking for when I watch that.
This is a really interesting point on the text line, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. From the 530, I wish you'd put your name on it so we could give you credit. How would you compare Davion Mitchell to when the Kings had Bobby Jackson? That's a really interesting question.
That's a really great question, but Bobby could get you buckets too. Like Bobby, and I watched him in college. I used to work in Wisconsin when he used to play for the Minnesota, and Bobby never deferred to anybody, and so I think what you need to see from Davion is when you're out there, like we're seeing with Keegan, don't defer to De'Aaron Fox. Like, you're good too. It's okay to call your number. It's okay to launch the ball. And I thought last year what we saw from Davion was a little lack of confidence. Didn't have early success last season. New coaching staff. He put in the work, obviously, this season. And so 4 threes last night, that didn't surprise me from Davion because he's capable of knocking down shots. I just don't want him to get lost out there and start deferring to De'Aaron. Go out there and be a sixth man. Like Bobby Jackson knew what his role was. I used to work with the great Tommy Heinsohn. And this is what Tommy Heinsohn told me.
Give you a Tommy point.
Yeah. This is what he used to always say about bench players and specifically the sixth man. The role of the bench is to either A, continue what the starters have, built so far. If you're winning, keep it going. Or B, change the tone of the game. If you're losing, come in and change the tone of the game. And if I'm Davion, I'm sitting there and I'm watching what's happening on the floor and I'm thinking about ways I need to impact this game about what's going on right now.
To me, the difference between those two, and it is a great question, I agree. Bobby Jackson was probably a more rounded player, better, not as good defensively, but not bad defensively.
Right.
Bobby Jackson could start. He primarily came off the bench and he was so good at it. That's one of the reasons. I think in his mind he was a starter. He started as many as He started as many as 26 games one year with the Kings.
Yeah.
I think Davion, even when he was coming out of Baylor, the consensus was this is a guy who will probably be a really good backup guard on a good team. And that's not,
right.
I don't mean that, as a criticism, but I think his ceiling is probably seen as a little lower than Bobby's was.
Yeah, maybe. But I also think the mentality too, like Davion.
We can still have a huge impact.
He's going to have a huge. Davion is a bulldog defensively. I thought Bobby was a bulldog offense. Like he was out there coming to school you and get buckets on you. And so that's where they're a little different also, I think.
Yeah. And Bobby Jackson, it was a different game then, but he was a really good offensive player.
Yeah.
Here's one for you. Did Kevin Huerter earn back his starting job last night?
Yes, I think so. And I'm not looking at the box score. I keep telling you guys that. It's not about the box score. It's about the eye test, the energy, effort. It may not always work out, but I thought Kevin Huerter was a lot more present last night. One of the things they talked about before the game is getting over screens, trying to fight over screens. And I thought Kevin Huerter, to an extent, did a good job of that. Sure, he had some missteps. Everybody did. But I thought at least we saw the effort and the engagement there for Kevin Huerter last night.
Mm-hmm. Still didn't shoot the three ball very well.
Yeah, I think he made his first one, though. He made his first shot of the game, I believe. They drew up a play for Kevin Huerter, and then he missed his next 4 three balls. I'm still worried about that shot. We keep saying, it'll come. But, man, I keep saying, give me a 4 or 5 3-point night just for Kevin Huerter's psyche, just for his mentality. I want to see this guy smiling and having fun again. I thought he played well last night. Ignore the numbers.
He was feisty.
He was feisty, right? He was engaged, It looked like it mattered out there to him. And so did he regain his starting spot? Yes, in my eyes, he did.
And we need you. We have to take a break. We need you to explain, because a lot of fans are confused today like they were after Game 7. How come Huerter is guarding Curry at the end of games here? A lot of fans don't understand that, and I know you have the answer to that. Also, when we come back, I don't know about you. I like one of the NBA's new rules. The other one, I don't see how it can work. We're back with that. Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's happening with Ram Power Days?
We love American muscle, and right now is the last call on new 2023 Dodge Charger and Challenger SXTs before they're gone, with lease payments as low as $399.
What about all those Ram trucks I see?
Save thousands with 0% financing for 72 months and $6,000 off MSRP on all new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn and Laramie Crew Cabs. And we all know 0% financing is almost impossible to find in 2023. 2023.
These deals can't last long, so hurry into Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram and see their whole inventory at hobletdodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
Take 0% financing for 72 months plus 6,000 dealer discount. Offer on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. Must have 700 plus FICO score to qualify. 0% for 72 months equals $13.89 per thousand borrowed. Lease new 2023 Dodge Charger or Challenger SXTs for $399 a month for 42 months with $49.95 due at signing plus tax, license fees, and any accessories. Offer subject to credit approval through U.S. Bank with 10,000 allowable miles per year. 25 cents per mile excess mileage charge. 5 each net savings. See dealer for details.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. If you're a small business owner, listen up. Pi Insurance wants to give you one of those aha moments, the kind that could save you money. Workers' comp is probably one of the biggest costs you face. But did you know that insurance providers have flexibility in setting their prices? That's right. But many don't bother giving small businesses the savings you deserve. Instead, you can get lumped in with other businesses and overcharged. Pi Insurance was created to change that. With Pi, you get a quote tailored specifically to your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle and no hidden fees. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. Take 3 minutes to see how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or go to trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kip Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kip Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports' IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com and sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's film at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
See, Kyle Draper, yeah, it was a tough loss last night, but we look ahead because ultimately, we'll see them soon enough for reals. And we're just looking forward to the start of the season. One more preseason game and then get ready for the regular season.
You know, yeah, whatever happens in the preseason, whoop-de-freaking-do. Warriors celebrating like they won a championship last night, Draymond laughing and all that. We're about the regular season, man. We're about handling our business when it matters. And so Warriors fans, they could celebrate what happened last night, but we'll handle them on October 27th.
Mm-hmm. Here's a question from Manny Too Legit on the chat. He wants to know who will be starting today. Anyone know? Family Slagle says, I heard Selmans was starting at the 3. That is unconfirmed.
Bring him back. Bring him back.
All I know is, Kyle, you may know more than I do here. All I know is Mike Brown said everyone is supposed to play tonight.
Right.
I just don't know how much.
Yeah, and we haven't talked to any of the guys, obviously, on a back-to-back, no shoot-around today or no practice or anything like that. We should find out. Mike Brown talks at 5:15, so hopefully maybe right before the end of the show we should find out.
There you go. Have you ever heard the story of why supposedly shoot-arounds are called shoot-arounds and not practice?
No. What you got?
The Lakers started those. Bill Sharman was coaching the Lakers, and this is when they had, Wilt and Jerry West and those guys. And he thought that'd be great just to go out there the day of the game and just, work out a little bit. But they knew if they called it practice that Wilt Chamberlain would never go. So someone came up with, let's just call it the shoot-around. And that's what stuck.
Yeah. Right, exactly. I can see that. And, like Allen Iverson or somebody like that. We talk about practice?
Yeah.
No, Allen, we talking about the shoot-around. Oh, okay, I can do that,
Yeah.
All right.
That's no problem.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We saw a couple of the new rules in it. Well, one was in effect last night. One was not. I don't know how you feel about this, Drapes, dear listener. To me, of the two new rules, I like the fact that if you get a challenge right, you gain another challenge.
Yes.
I think that's going to work.
We saw that last night.
Yeah, we saw that. But as far as the flopping, blatant flop, you get a technical foul and it's not reviewable. How is anyone in the heat of battle going to really be able to tell? Well, that was blatant. My fear is that somebody's going to get, run over by LeBron and just go backwards, and they're going to say, that's a flop, and they're going to get that wrong. So I don't think that rule can work.
No, I thought the same thing. Like, when you're going real speed and everything.
Flopped last night.
Yeah,
they didn't call it.
Right. How are you supposed to gauge that in real speed? I mean, to me, there's too much gray area with that rule. You're leaving it up to interpretation. Each official might be different as well. How do you define a flop? What's the definition in the NBA rule book as a flop?
They
overly selling, overly selling a call or a play or something like that. But how do you know? One thing we see at the NBA, it's a very physical sport. Is there a difference between embellishing and flopping? Like, I 100% agree with you. I don't think it's a good rule. I understand wanting to legislate that out, but to me, it's too much gray area, especially being able you have to call it immediately in real time, and I don't see how they can do that.
Yeah, if you try to take a charge from some of the larger gentlemen, and they're all larger gentlemen, you're going to be knocked backwards.
Right, right.
So I'm guessing that perhaps the real reason is they're just trying to discourage players from flopping. Once they try to put it into practice, it may get a little sticky. And I'm looking for it here. I apologize. You may know, Kyle. They actually came up with new terms to describe what a blatant flop is, and we'll get those for you as soon as we can track them down. But I just actually tried to define it.
Right. And it could go both ways too, right?
Yeah.
The offensive guy can flop. I just think, when you watch these basketball players, they're great basketball players, but some of them are even better actors. And so refereeing, it's hard being a referee in the NBA because the players are taking advantage of every rule. They're putting the refs in a difficult position. The one play that I hate the most is when an offensive player is driving to the basket and he uses the off arm to push away. I call it the Jason Tatum play. Watch Jason Tatum. He does it every single time. And as a defender, what are you supposed to do? And so I know they were trying to cut back on that. That was a point of emphasis going into this season. But I think the flopping, I think we are all okay with legislating it out of the game. I just don't think they're doing it the right way by having an in-game technical. Maybe you review it and give a fine afterwards or something like that. Once you break down the film, you give a heftier fine instead of $25,000. Maybe you do $100,000 or $50,000, whatever it is. And so I just think it's going to be hard to legislate during the game.
It is about time, though, that if you got your first challenge right, you get a second one. It's just, I know, and I don't mean to bring up, pour salt on the wound again. I know you thought that Mike Brown should have won a second challenge as well last night.
Oh my gosh. I immediately texted you and I'm like, this is embarrassing what we're listening to right now. I'm listening to Bob and Kalina, and they're like, oh, that's definitely, it's definitely going to be Warriors ball. And then when they actually gave it back to the Warriors, I was like, are we serious? And so I'm not sure who the ref was at the that made that call. I have to go back and look at the film, but I'm just thinking, dude, it's clear Steph Curry's laying out of bounds.
It was a guy, right? So
yeah, it was a guy.
Eric Dahlen.
Yeah, it might have been Eric. Was he the only guy last night?
Ray Mitchell and Jason Goebel.
Jason Goebel. Yeah.
Jason Goebel.
Yeah. And so, that was a bad call. And, I immediately tweeted out, and I said, Steph was out of bounds. Come on, man. And so throw in the Warriors announcers. Throw in my distaste for Steph Curry and the Warriors. Throw in the fact that we lost the game and the officials made a horrible call. I was in a bad mood last night, and I couldn't wait to get in.
Yeah.
It's just I understand, getting the call wrong, but that was blatant to me. Like, it was, I thought it was clear in real time Steph had hit the deck. And if I'm correct, don't you have to reestablish position before you're the first person to touch the ball, I believe? And so, based on what I know of NBA rules, and so I thought, Steph shouldn't be allowed to touch the ball. And I just felt like it was a bad call by the officials there.
It reminded me of the play against the Cowboys where the 49ers, there was that fumble right down the sideline, and there was like 3 guys diving for it, and it looked like there's no way nobody touched it out of bounds. And then on the replay, it's like, well, maybe they didn't. So I don't know. I never did see the definitive evidence. What I did mind was that, and again, Fitz has come on the show, and I've known him a long time, and he's generous with his time, but he says, well, it's either definitive or it's not. If you can't find it, it's not definitive. And I say, well, hold on. They're looking for it.
They're looking.
They're trying to find it. If it's there, they'll find it. If it's not, they won't.
Right.
But that doesn't mean they can do it like that.
And, Epic Airbee says, did you guys talk about the inbounds hands over Monk missed call? Remember Malik Monk had the inbounds pass and GP2 was pressuring him, and then GP2 got his hands on it and got a steal and then drew a foul. When I looked on that, GP2 was standing out of bounds harassing Malik Monk. Like, GP2's feet were on the line, crossing the line. Aren't you supposed to give a guy a little space or something like that?
They always go 3 feet.
3 feet, okay, back up. Right, and then they walk right up. And he walked right up, hands up, obviously. Malik should have done a better job, yes, but GP2, his feet were over the line. He was standing out of bounds with Malik Monk, basically. And so it was just a frustrating night, man. I was disappointed.
Is there any downside for the Kings in losing a game they were trying to win at the very end like that when they had the big lead? Is there any potential hangover from something like that in the preseason?
I think so. And because look at how I'm reacting. It's sort of like PTSD from Game 7. It's like, dang, Steph Curry got us again. And so that's why October 27th is so important for Sacramento, because now the narrative, at least the thought in Warriors Nation, is that they own the Kings. Who's your daddy? Like Pedro used to say, it's like the Kings are somehow still a notch below the Warriors, and that no matter how hard the Kings try, they'll never beat the Warriors. And so that narrative lives on for at least another week.
When we come back, believe it or not, the Kings actually got some national love today, but are there really 6 teams in the league that are more fun to watch than your Kings? That's next with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave from my good friends at Fire Wings with some bullet points for you to remember so you can be a professional fire wing eater. Like Wings Day Wednesday, 88-cent wings each and every Wednesday. 3 flavor lineup includes 7 classic wing flavors, 7 dry rub wing flavors, 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, if you're thinking about getting the latest iPhone, check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. Yeah, you get the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium. Then again, next year you get the latest iPhone. Every year. Boost Infinite. Infinitely better. To learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. That's pound 250 and say Boost Infinite.
Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slowed. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from this station's network.
When every shot counts, the professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio encourage you to try the brand new Titleist T-Series irons. Irons designed to enhance your play through control, distance, flight, forgiveness, looks, sound, and feel. With 4 T-Series models, the fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at hagenoaks.com.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson.
retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I have terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
At Elk Grove Honda, we see every Honda buyer as a member of the family, so we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we would buy from ourselves. At Elk Grove Honda, we include many benefits that a private seller just can't match. Our Honda-trained technicians only certify our Hondas if they pass a thorough 182-point inspection, and our certified pre-owned Hondas are under 5 years old. So you know you're getting the newest Hondas in prime condition. See our exceptional selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Happy Thursday, I'm Simone, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The rivalry chapters of the Kings and Warriors continue to be written as the two I-80 foes gave us another spirited preseason contest.
Stops, launches, scores the three-pointer, 116-115. The Warriors' first lead since it was 22-21 in the final minute of the first. And the Warriors stay unbeaten in the preseason thanks to a huge fourth quarter from Steph Curry.
Sacramento Kings will conclude the preseason portion of their schedule tonight when they face the Utah Jazz at Golden One Center. Drive Guys will be lacing you up with their hot takes and need-to-knows before that 7 p.m. tip. Our exclusive game night coverage jumps off at 5:30 right here on Sactown Sports, of course over at SactownSports.com, and as always on our Sactown Sports app. And we didn't forget about the NFL. Week 7 opens up with the Jaguars pulling up on the Saints with kickoff slated for 5:15. I'm Simone. Those are your headlines. Welcome back in to more Drive Guys.
Local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
What are the odds that there are 6 teams in the NBA that are more fun to watch than the Kings? We'll tackle that in just a moment here, Drive Guys. Speaking of odds, Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento, bringing you this segment. And also, Kyle, before we get to the most watchable teams in the NBA, found the terms. We were just talking about the new rules in the NBA. One is if you're a coach successful in your first challenge, you get a second challenge. The other one, of course, is they are cracking down on flopping. And here are the terms that they've given to the referees to use to determine whether there's a blatant flop. Monty McCutcheon broke these down a few weeks ago. These are what the officials are looking for. They're going to use the acronym STEM, which stands for secondary theatrical exaggerated movements. So there you go. It's that simple. Reactions to contact that are secondary theatrical exaggerated movements. That's a flop. So they're trying.
Oh, I guess just because you throw a fancy little acronym up there, it doesn't mean it makes it easier to digest and detect when doing the game. And so these guys are moving a million miles an hour. Like I said, these players are actors to an extent. And so I don't envy officials trying to make that call.
I know. I could just hear, you don't get to hear the officials discussing things, but 3 of them are huddled. That was secondary and exaggerated, and there was movement. But was it theatrical? I didn't think it was
right. You got to have all 4 of those things. You got to have all 4.
We're good. How good are the Kings here in terms of being one of the most fun teams to watch? Zach Lowe came up with his annual list here. He had the top 10 today. We knew the Kings were in the top 10. So where did they finish? 10. The 10th most watchable team in the NBA, according to Zach Lowe. Dallas Mavericks, 9. Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean, I know that Ant-Man is very watchable, but other than that, Number 8, Philadelphia 76ers. How do you know? You don't even know who's going to be on the freaking team.
Yeah.
And there they are at number 7, the Sacramento Kings. Do you want to know who the other ones are?
Yeah,
quickly?
please. Yeah, let's
It goes 6 Lakers, 5 is the Celtics, 4 Phoenix, 3 Denver, 2, you're not going to like this one.
Warriors.
And then the most watchable team in the league, the Milwaukee Bucks. So that's pretty good company the Kings are in.
Yeah, pretty good company. You know, I need to go back and see what his criteria. I mean, does it mean star power? They got some new additions. We need to see how, or is it aesthetically pleasing basketball? You know what I mean? And so I guess based on this list, the most entertaining teams in the NBA. So based on this list, it means more of aesthetically pleasing, fun to watch. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not a fan of watching Denver play. Like, as great as Jokic is, I'm not necessarily a fan of watching that team play. You know, I said this about Jokic. We had Chris and I, when I was with Chris, we had a segment where our least favorite NBA players to watch. Steph Curry was on my list, but also Jokic. As great as he is, he just frustrates me because he looks like he should be stopped. Like, he looks like a guy that should, you know what, at the gym, you know what, give me him. I got him. He's slow. He's not athletic, but then he gives you 40. You know, it's like, I can't say, he's so maddening, right? Because it's not flashy. It's a ho-hum. He's like a blue-collar worker out there, but he's giving you buckets. And so I don't know if Denver's a fun team to watch for me. I don't know. That's just me.
To me, they're fun to watch, and I love watching him, but I wouldn't put him ahead of the Kings.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And in terms of the style of play, I would put Sacramento up there probably number 1, just because to me, they were the best story in the NBA last season.
Well, here's the shocking news.
But,
Zach Lowe says, the Kings hear the skepticism. They won't be so healthy again. The West is ready for them. Okay, maybe. And then he goes on to say nice things about the Kings.
What?
Yes.
Zach Lowe says that?
Yes. He says Sabonis played most of the season with a broken thumb. And he says the offense is a breakneck whir of handoffs, backdoor cuts, and brazen in-your-grill threes. He says De'Aaron Fox is a certified dude. Keegan Murray was the rare rookie who fit on a good team. So, yeah, you might argue that they're more watchable than Zach Lowe says, but overall, he is one of the very few national pundits here to say, hey, I think Sacramento's going to be pretty good.
That's the one national writer who has said something nice about the Kings, and there wasn't a shot in there, right? He didn't know backhanded compliments or nothing.
Yeah, and like I say, he even mentioned De'Aaron Fox, whereas Hollinger didn't even mention De'Aaron Fox in his breakdown.
In his whole write-up. You know, I just, you know, the Kings are, you know, we talk about league pass worthy, who are the favorite league pass teams. The Kings are right up there. I mean, the brand of basketball they play, it's exciting. Most of their games are competitive. You know, De'Aaron Fox is clutch in the fourth, all the things that Zach Lowe talked about. And so, to me, they're right up there. I got them ahead of Denver, though.
Yeah, and listen to this from Zach Lowe.
Ooh, more.
If Fox doesn't break his finger, do the Kings win that epic first-round series against Golden State? If so, how different is the preseason analysis of them? Yeah, so
that's the one thing that we have not heard anybody mention about that.
Yes.
De'Aaron Fox got injured midway through that series, and you look at the splits, the first few games versus his last few, he just wasn't the same player. And so maybe, like Zach Lowe said, if they win that, are we even talking about Domantas Sabonis and what he did against Looney? Are we talking about Kevin Huerter's struggles? And so, man, I forgot that's the one thing, Fox's injury, that nobody has brought up except our guy, Zach Lowe.
He even says the art on their court is fantastic. The new purple and black gradient court is a winner. So this is, I'm just like, what am I doing?
This guy won a credential or something?
What's going on here? It's just in such stark contrast to what we're used to hearing this week from the national expert.
Yeah, I like it. We may have to get Zach Lowe on the show here pretty soon.
I think we will.
He's going to be a friend of show because this is a glowing report, man. I appreciate Zach for this.
And, you know, the bottom line here, whether you quibble about the Kings being 7th or not, there's no question that one of the most enjoyable things about the team last year was that for the first time in so many years, as you know, years, they were fun. The Kings were fun to watch.
The Kings did everything right last season. Think about this, White. 48 wins, you snap the streak, you break the drought, the drought's over. Exciting games, 176, 175 against the Clippers. You light the beam. Think about if they tried to light the beam the season beforehand. It wouldn't have worked, right? So everything was coming up roses for the Sacramento Kings last season. And that's why I'm excited, obviously, for next week. And that's why I think this team is trending up, man. It's cool again to be a Sacramento Kings fan.
Yeah. Wasn't there something during the summer where they tested out like a new beam? So when I don't think I imagined that. Like a new, brighter beam.
Yeah,
so
a stronger one, right?
Yeah. So when we see it,
right.
Next, when will we see it?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. It's going to be a bigger, brighter beam.
Yes, exactly. And it'll be even more cool. And, because one of the things I would always drive back from San Francisco or be driving, I'd be looking for it and it'd be kind of hard. And I'm like, all right, where is it? I know it's out there. And so this year there won't be any questions about it. And, it's up to the guys now, though. We got all these rankings. We got all this preseason stuff. Now the boys got to go out there and back it up, right? They got to, say, oh, what, Hollinger, you think we're only going to win 39 games? Well, watch us. Check this out. Domantas Sabonis. Oh, I can't repeat what I did last season. I got shortcomings. Watch this. And so to your point that you've always said, the standings will dictate everything else. The thing that matters the most is what you do on the standings. And our guys have a chance starting next Wednesday to shut up all these critics or make us look like geniuses the way we talk about them.
What do you think of Phoenix as the fourth most watchable team?
How do we even know?
Yeah, I want to see them because it's such a curiosity, but I don't know how entertaining it's going to be.
Right, we don't know. They're just names on the paper right now, as far as I'm concerned.
The Warriors probably belong on there.
No, the Warriors are fun to watch, even though, I'm not a Steph Curry guy. And, if I didn't have a dog in the race or anything like that, the Warriors would be a fun team to watch. I don't even know Phoenix's style, what kind of offense they run just yet.
I'm not sure they do either.
It might be, you take turn. All right, now it's your turn. Now, is that fun to watch? I don't know. For him to give Phoenix and also Milwaukee's never been a fun team to watch, I don't think.
Not really.
Giannis has been great, but in terms of, aesthetically pleasing, basketball savants, I don't know if Milwaukee is that way. And I think Zach is just putting these guys up there just based on the names.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in seeing Dame Lillard and Giannis together. I'm interested in seeing Brad Beal with the other two guys.
But you can't assume it'll be
You can't assume, exactly.
I'm curious to see it, but we'll see.
Let's see it in the real, yeah.
By the way, your guy Steph Curry is going to be part of the ownership group that's going to represent San Francisco in that TGL, the Tech-infused golf league, being developed by Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy. Yes. That's going to be, in January they're going to show that, and some of it's going to be on a simulator, and some of it is going to be actually done in a studio or somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
And didn't they announce the players who would be participating, I think, earlier this week? Some of the big names will be participating, but Steph, why you got, it's like, come on, Steph.
He loves golf. He's probably going to be playing.
Right.
Player holder, Steph Curry.
Yes. Steph can't do no wrong right now. And I'm sure it'll be a great venture. And I might check it out. I'm a big golf guy.
Yeah. Let's see. Competing in the league to the point you just made. McIlroy, Tiger maybe, John Rahm, Morikawa, Justin Thomas, Shane Lowry, Matt Fitzpatrick, Adam Scott, Keegan Bradley, and Justin Rose. Whoa,
all the big names on the PGA Tour.
We should have a team.
We should have a
when we come back, the Kings lost last night, but 3 very bright spots for the Kings despite that bitter defeat. When the Drive guys roll on here, we're coming right back with that on Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Igor, my faithful companion. It is time to prepare for the night. The shadows grow long, and the creatures of the night stir with excitement.
Yes, Master Dracula. What do you require of me?
I need you to fire up the hearse. Elk Grove Kia is having a Halloween sale that is to die for. We're going to upgrade to a new car worthy of the Prince of Darkness. I'm so excited. It is making my blood shiver.
But Master, with your credit history, aren't you worried you're going to get turned down?
Igor, shut up. Elk Grove Kia's finance department has over 100 years of experience. They can even get me approved, even with my troubled past. And Elk Grove Kia's exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on all new Kias, it's almost like having an immortal car.
Elk Grove Kia's Halloween sale is so good, it's scaring the competition. In fact, it's so scary, we can't even advertise the pricing. So whether you're in need of a new or used car, make your way to Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or visit us at elkgrovekia.com.
Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sacramento State football back at home this Saturday night. Nationally televised primetime game versus Montana State. The Bobcats, of course. Do you know what a bunch of Hornets would do to a Bobcat? I don't want to think about it. Find out, 7:30. That's when kickoff is. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Whitey Gleason and Kyle Draper on the chat here, Kyle. All of a sudden, the conversation has turned to the in-season tournament. Some people are trying to and actually are starting to get warmed up a little bit for the in-season tournament.
Are they really?
Some people,
It's not just regular games, right?
Throwing that out.
Oh, Simone hyping up the in-season tournament. And, you know, what I am excited to see, we get Victor Wembanyama. You know, he's part of that in-season tournament, one of the teams the Kings are going to face. Did you see what he did last night?
Yeah.
Some of those moves. I mean, it's just, he is amazing. I'm looking at the schedule right now. OKC, San Antonio, Minnesota, and Golden State. That's a tough list of teams to play.
That's the group, right?
That's the group that the
C
Kings are. Yeah, that's the group that the Kings are in. But no, I'm looking forward to anything to add a little extra oomph to these early regular season games. I'm all for.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the Spurs, did you see who they started last night? And this is a group that I guess Pop is suggested that we're going to start this team. Have you seen this lineup?
No. What do you got?
Tell me what strikes you about this team. You got Jeremy Sohan, who's 6'8", Wemby, who's 7'4", Zach Collins, who's 6'11", Keldon Johnson, who's 6'5", and Devin Vassell, who's 6'5".
All 6'5", and that's
huge. 6'8", 7'4", 6'11", 6'5", and 6'5".
And you know what I see when I hear that? No true point guard, like not your prototypical point guard. That's, you know, a lot of teams want to go positionless basketball right now. And I think we talked earlier last week or 2 weeks ago about Wembanyama running the point some. And that's why, you know, because there isn't a designated point.
Yeah, I think the idea is in general to kind of run the offense through maybe not Zach Collins, but the other four positions. Sohan actually plays a little point, doesn't he?
I
don't know. You got the Suns. They don't really have a point guard.
Yeah.
So maybe it's trending that way. We'll see how it works out.
Well, I could argue that the Warriors don't have, outside of Chris Paul, a prototypical point guard. You know, I've maintained that Steph Curry is not a prototypical point guard. He's a great guard, but
Draymond is.
Draymond is the facilitator. And so, I think teams are switching up. I think positionless basketball is where a lot of teams want to go.
That's one of the most interesting things about the Kings last year was the way Sabonis kind of evolved into such a Draymond-like role in the offense.
Yes, exactly. You know, how many years have we seen talked about De'Aaron Fox is the point guard? De'Aaron Fox runs the show. Well, Sabonis averaged better than 7 assists per game last season. And a lot of what they do is run through Domantas Sabonis until the fourth quarter, and that's when De'Aaron Fox takes over. It'll be interesting because one of the things we talk about De'Aaron Fox and his growth is we know he's clutch. We know he can get buckets, but can he also make guys better too? And so one thing we saw last night with that last possession, he's going to draw the attention. Can he make the right read? And now guys have to hit shots. Davion last night, you got to knock that down. I think when you look at great players, they know they can get buckets at all times. Now they got to get other people buckets too.
Hey, you know, we were just talking about golf a minute ago. You know, the match that they had, like,
yeah.
Somebody here, Alfred E. Newman on the chat suggests 11:40 version of the match, must-see TV, Drapes against Carmichael Dave.
Bring it on. Carmichael, and we raise some money for charity or something like that. Carmichael Dave does a lot of talking. He's a member at a course, but I don't know how good his game is. You know, I'm not throwing shots or anything. I'm just saying I don't know how. So I would take that. I would take that match. Why not? You know?
Yeah.
Look at you. You don't believe it. You're doubting me over there, man. That's not
doubting you.
That's
I'm
not a vote of
corner.
confidence over there, Whitey. You're supposed to be like, you're my guy. I back you, Drake.
I didn't think you needed it. You came in hot there, and I'm like, yeah. I like it. I want to see it.
Man, my golf game, I tell you what.
I wanted you to say more about Dave. That's why I kind of backed
No,
out.
we've never played golf together. You know, what's so crazy about Carmichael Dave is every time I see him.
This is going to take a while.
Every time I see him, Drapes, when we getting out on the course, oh, man, I'm a member at this course. You need to come on out. Come on out, Drapes. He's never actually extended the invite.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, I was playing at his course one time, and guess who was behind me? His wife and his kid, they were golfing out there. They waved to me, but I've never seen Carmichael Dave out there with me actually on the course.
He's dodging you.
He is. Well, you know, he is. I think he's afraid of my
It's
driver.
like Lonzo used to be with De'Aaron Fox. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
They're playing the Kings. Yeah,
exactly. All right. I'm going to sit this one out. I would like for somebody to arrange that, man. Let's get it on, you know. I'm not good with the driver as much, but the iron play is on point. I'm telling you.
I think also you have that, TV guy, and you are a cool customer under pressure. And I can see Dave under this kind of pressure just falling apart.
Right. Exactly. Like if it was no cameras or anything, he'd be good. Because it's just, if it was just on radio, so he'd be good. But soon as the lights are on, spectators in the stands and everything, he would free. He's not used to performing in high pressure situations.
I think you're right about that. Would you be willing to play on his course, or do you want to play on a neutral side? I mean,
neutral side. His course is tough. His course is really tough, actually.
Okay. Plus, that would be an unfair built-in advantage.
Right, exactly. We could play a neutral site. We go out to Hagen Oaks or somewhere like that. Timber Creek. We got guys out there to any time of the week. I would take on Dave.
There you go. Great idea, Alfred E. Newman. Yeah. Alfred E. Newman says Dave has no short game.
We know
his mental game is questionable.
And this isn't a scramble, Dave.
Right here.
This is not a scramble, Dave. You can't hire somebody to putt for you, big fella.
Match play. You want to do match play?
Yeah, let's do match play. I like match play better. Yeah.
That gives him a chance.
Right, exactly. It might be what? 10 and 0, 10 with 9 to play, 10 up or whatever. Yeah.
All right.
I would love that. That's a great idea. Alfred E. Newman, our guy. Okay.
Yeah. Great idea.
That's awesome. He's not ready.
Don't play Jason Ross.
Oh, I've played with Rossi before. He's solid. He's pretty good.
I know.
He's pretty
could
good.
do anything. He's like, I'm gonna play golf, shoot a 78.
Right.
What do you think here, Kyle? I know you touched on some of these with your drape stakes. 3, I thought, very bright spots for the Kings last night. Despite the loss, I thought Herter looked really good, considering, he didn't shoot well, but otherwise he was engaged. As we said, he was feisty. That was good. Davion shooting the ball extremely well. The 3 ball, we know he's worked on it, shooting really well. That was a real bright spot. And then we've talked about it, but there's no way around it. Colby Jones playing really well and just solid on both ends of the floor and handling a variety of offensive duties.
No, if I'm Mike Brown, you got to be pleased by what you saw from your team. Like you said, there were tons of bright spots. Even I thought the defense early on in the game, I thought the compete level was high. Watch De'Aaron Fox get over the screens. If you watch the game from last night, that was something Fox talked about, trying to blow up screens, fight over those screens. They did a great job. Sure, they had some lapses, I thought, defensively, especially in that fourth quarter and that second half. But overall, I think, despite losing, it was their best preseason game so far this year. We got to see the Kings really do what Mike Brown had talked about, being physical, and he talked about it after the game. Like, the level of physicality was up on both ends of the floor, I thought.
Mm-hmm. Had a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Didn't bring home the bacon.
Right. Didn't bring home the bacon.
When they wanted to. They wanted to bring home the bacon.
And the thing that bothers me about that is Steph Curry going off for 16. If we're going to beat the Warriors, and I know he's Steph Curry, and I know he's great people. I understand somebody has to turn off Steph Curry. Somebody has to take on the challenge, and somebody else is going to have to beat us. Klay Thompson, Kuminga, somebody is going to have to beat us. And so we saw last night, the Kings' last possession, De'Aaron Fox has the ball. What do they do? Chris Paul comes over and helps, forces the ball. That's what the Kings have to do, because Steph Curry is so good as soon as he crawls half court. You can't leave your guy one-on-one. And I understand Fox wanted to take the challenge. He said, I got him. But Steph Curry is too good. In that situation, I would like to see somebody else beat the Sacramento Kings. And so we talk about development for the players. I hope Mike Brown, as we go on, changes the strategy, unless it's Davion. Now, if you got Davion, okay, I'm all for, leave him on the island. Davion, you got him. But, man, I would have liked to seen somebody else get that last shot for Golden State.
Now, can you explain to us why it is that late in games, last night, also in Game 7, we saw Herter guarding Curry? Because I know I asked you about this earlier, and you know better now. There's a lot of fans that look at that, and they're still saying, why wasn't Mitchell guarding Curry at the end of Game 7? So there's actually an explanation.
Yeah, exactly. I think the numbers, the analytics suggested that Kevin Herter had did an admirable job, a very good job, maybe even the best job on Steph Curry. And a lot of times what you see from coaches and organizations in all walks of life, all sports, is they're going with the percentages. They're going with the data that they have for that series. And I think the Kings, statistically, analytically thought Kevin Herter had done a fantastic job. And, but it's Steph Curry. I think you throw out the analytics. You throw out, sometimes you have to go back to the old eye test. I understand you pay guys a lot of money. You got all this data, all this information. But you can't tell me that Davion, knowing him the way we do, wouldn't say, I got him. If Mike Brown said, Davion, I need you to get Steph, trust me, Davion is going to make Steph's life miserable. Sure, Steph may still hit shots, but he's going to have to work for it against Davion. And so I would like to see, late in games, and we saw it last night as well, not Herter on him, throw in Davion. Mike Brown is so good at situational coaching. Like usually if there's 2 seconds left in the quarter or something, he'll call a timeout. He'll draw up a great play. He doesn't let things just, go by. And so I think if he could do it over again, I hope we would see Davion a little more on Steph Curry.
Mojo 916, maybe you guys should put on the gloves and get in the ring instead for charity, of course.
No, we're lovers, not fighters. Me and Carmichael Day, we're two good guys.
We had a great idea, Mojo.
Yeah, exactly. Go duke it out. Now, if I hated him, maybe I would square up and knuckle up with him, but Dave's my guy. No, we wouldn't do that.
Timothy wants to know, can you guys please explain how the in-season tournament works? We'll do that when we come right back. It's The Drive, guys, on Sactown Sports.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season?
Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995?
Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
What's up? I'm here with Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Jeep Adventure Days?
With gas prices skyrocketing, good gas mileage is more important now than ever. And right now, you can save up to $11,000 off MSRP when you lease a new 2024 Jeep Wrangler Sport S 4xe plug-in hybrid.
Okay, but what about hauling my family around?
Well, save even more with up to $14,000 off MSRP when you lease a new 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited 4xe plug-in hybrid. Great mileage and big savings on one of America's most loved SUVs.
These deals can't last long. Hurry into the Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Center or see their full inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
11,000 total Wrangler 4xe net savings on lease only after 8,500 factory rebates and 2,500 dealer discount. 14,000 total Grand Cherokee 4xe net savings on lease only after 11,500 factory rebates and 2,500 dealer discount. Lease options subject to credit approval. Not everyone will qualify. Rebates include 7,500 federal tax credit rebate. Subject to change without notice. 5 at each net savings. See dealer for details.
The city of Sacramento offers grass conversion rebates to help you replace your thirsty lawn with a naturally water-efficient landscape. Whether you own a home or business in Sacramento, you may be eligible. Learn more at SacWaterwise.com.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Hey, Sacramento, join us at Hornet Stadium this Saturday for 916 night as the top-ranked Sacramento State Hornets are back home for a nationally televised primetime game. Kickoff is at 7:30 as the Hornets welcome in the Montana State Bobcats to Hornet Stadium in a crucial Big Sky matchup. Help us pack Hornet Stadium and show your Sacramento pride. Stick around after the game for post-game fireworks. Get your tickets now at hornetsports.com. Stingers up and go Hornets.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, if you're thinking about getting the latest iPhone, check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. Yeah, you get the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium. Then again, next year, you get the latest iPhone. Every year. Boost Infinite. Infinitely better. To learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. That's pound 250 and say Boost Infinite.
Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slowed. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from this station's network.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at folsomlakeford.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com. 0
down with approved credit.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Happy Thursday. I'm Simone, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The rivalry chapters of the Kings and Warriors continue to be written as the two I-80 foes gave us another spirited preseason contest.
Stops, launches, scores the three-pointer, 116-115. The Warriors' first lead since it was 22-21 in the final minute of the first. And the Warriors stay unbeaten in the preseason thanks to a huge fourth quarter from Steph Curry.
Sacramento Kings will conclude the preseason portion of their schedule tonight when they face the Utah Jazz at Golden One Center. Drive Guys will be lacing you up with their hot takes and need-to-knows before that 7 p.m. tip. Our exclusive game night coverage dumps off at 5:30 right here on Sactown Sports, of course over at SactownSports.com, and as always on our Sactown Sports app. And we didn't forget about the NFL. Week 7 opens up with the Jaguars pulling up on the Saints with kickoff slated for 5:15. I'm Simone. Those are your headlines. Welcome back in to more Drive Guys.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
One of the conversations we had on the air yesterday, Kyle, carried over to my house when I got home because my wife, Shinya, she used to watch the Warriors with her dad when they lived in Pacifica. And so she's, been a Warrior fan for a long time. She used to watch with her dad. So she understands, she and I were King season ticket holders for a while. So last night she tried to be nice, and she said, I like both teams, but I told her, yes, but you're not a fan. You can't be and she was like, she's like, yeah, that's true. She
agreed with you. Yeah.
She's like, you can't be a fan of more than one team, really. You can like a couple teams, but you can't really be a fan of more than one team, especially when they're playing all the time. So I'm working on it.
Let me ask you this.
I'll get her back in purple.
Let me ask you this. Can you be a fan of two musicians, a fan of two actors?
Yeah, because that's different because it's not competitive.
Okay. Can you be a fan of two TV shows?
I don't see why not.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But that's different because it's not a competition.
Can you be
unless you're going to say, well, in the ratings they compete.
Right. That's right. That's where I was going. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just trying to figure it out.
Don't make me point to the scoreboard yesterday and the results of our poll.
No, you got it. A lot of people think wrongly like you, and that's why America is so great.
A lot of people. Here we go on the text line 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Kings don't have a stopper. None of their top guys are good defenders. That's from the 916.
That's not true. Harrison Barnes is a very good defender. Fox is a very good defender. We don't have a Marcus Smart or a Dylan Brooks or whoever else is a great on-ball defender. But Davion is a great on-ball defender. And so I disagree with that. And so tell me who, we saw the Warriors last night. Who's a great defender on that Warriors team last night?
Okay.
Last night.
Former Defensive Player of the Year didn't
And
play.
don't tell me Klay Thompson is a great on-ball defender. Klay Thompson is not who Klay Thompson was 5 years ago.
True.
He's a different player, so he's not a great on-ball defender. But if I'm Monty McNair, because here's the problem. It's hard to be a great defender and a great offensive player. Like, you look at Dame Lillard. He's not a great defender.
No.
He's not, but they surround with Lopez and so that's where Monty McNair, when you look at the roster, that's the next tweak I think he needs to make. And we talked a little bit about this yesterday. The trade deadline's in February. If I'm Monty, I'm seeing how things come. You got a log jam at a couple of positions. Maybe you flip some of those guys for that stopper, for that on-ball defender.
Yeah, I do think that question touches on an essential truth. And we can quibble about, do the Kings have any stoppers, really good defenders? But if you don't have a lot of good defenders on your team, it's hard to have a good defensive team. I know that seems
right.
very obvious, but that's part of the problem. If you have that guy's a good defender, that guy is the rest of them, then you're going to have some issues defensively.
Yeah, and this is one of the things I talked with Ron Adams, who's an assistant coach with the Warriors about.
Defensive coach.
Great defensive coach. And we talked defense, and he said, ideally, Mike Brown would like to have two-way players. Problem is, they don't grow on trees. It's hard to get that. And so that's on Monty McNair. Who are you going to go out there and get? Maybe OG Anunoby at the trade deadline might be a guy you kick the tires on. He's a good two-way player. But those guys just don't grow on trees. And so let's not forget, the Sacramento Kings were not a great defense last year, Whitey. And they came within 50 points by Steph Curry of advancing to the second round. It wasn't their defense per se that let them down in that series. It was their offense. And we said earlier, if De'Aaron Fox is healthy, maybe they win that. If Harrison Barnes hits the shot, maybe they win that. And so you don't have to – Denver wasn't an elite defensive team last year.
Middle of the pack,
like 14 or 15. But they were able to get it done because they were elite offense. They were a great team together. And so I don't think you necessarily need these stoppers out there, these, a lot of times those guys are offensively challenged. And so then your offense goes down, but maybe your defense goes up. It's a chess match you got to play.
I do think if this team's ever going to have a legitimate chance to win a championship, they have to be better defensively. Maybe they don't have to be great defensively, but here's my question. I was talking to Jerry Reynolds about this a couple days ago, and he thinks maybe there's something to it. Last year scoring was up. And every year there's more and more three-pointers made.
Mm-hmm.
And the league is trending in that direction. And to the point you just made, the Denver Nuggets were 15th in the league in defensive rating.
Right.
They won the championship. So while defense is always going to be vitally important, is it perhaps not as essential to a really good team in today's NBA as it used to be? I don't know the answer, but because I'm, kind of old school, like you gotta defend people,
right.
Rebounds and defense, that's how you win your rings. But I think maybe that's kind of a new truth in the NBA. You want to defend, but teams that aren't great defensively may still have a shot if they can make up for it at the other end.
Exactly. And you saw what Denver was able to do. The reason they won is because nobody could stop Jokic. Their offense was elite. And so I think offense is way more important now defensively. Sure, when the Warriors were winning the championships, we talked about they had a great defense, obviously. But I think in today's day and age, man, you got to be able to score, especially down the stretch. And so I think the Kings are well on their way. To me, Keegan Murray has to take that next step, maybe a stronger depth off that bench. But I don't think they need necessarily, like I said, a Marcus Smart or somebody like that who may be offensively challenged.
Mm-hmm. How about this? Here's a comment from the 916 on Kevon Looney. Kevon Looney is a traditional center. The Warriors won the series because they have a traditional center. The Kings even went out and got a traditional center to match other teams. Kevon Looney's 6'9".
Yeah, he's not a traditional. You're not throwing him to him on the block and let him go to work. No. He's not Shaq or anything like that. He just had a hell of a series. He's a hell of a player. He's relentless.
Great offensive rebound.
Right. He's relentless on the glass. And, Sabonis didn't do a great job. And, one of the things that, we talk about when we watch that series, sure, Looney played great, but DeMontis wanted some help. Like, if I'm wrestling with Looney, somebody else can get a rebound too, and I don't think, his teammates helped him enough last season.
Coming up here, we were talking about the in-season tournament. Somebody wants to know, can you guys explain how the in-season tournament works? We will explain it to you, and we will also play for you one of the worst explanations ever as far as how this thing is all going to work, because we're all getting ready for it, trying to figure it out together. That's coming up next year with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Quick Quack Car Wash.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Skies will stay clear through the night tonight with overnight lows in the upper 50s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny day with highs in the mid to maybe upper 80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
There's just something about fall that makes me want to enjoy every moment. The changing leaves, the pumpkin patches, and you know what else won't last? Quick Quack's new pumpkin spice scented car wash. Text SPICE to 41284 to get 50% off any wash.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. Actual Pi customer.
As a small business, we're always looking for ways that we can offer the quality product and get some cost savings.
Meet Michelle from J.J. Pfister Distilling Company, a small business in California. When looking for workers' comp coverage tailored to the company's needs, she discovered Pi Insurance.
We heard about Pi Insurance being geared for a small business, gave Pi a call, and ended up switching.
Is your small business overpaying for workers' comp insurance? See how much you could save at trypi.com. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate, so your workers' comp audit experience is simplified.
We saved about 30% off of our workers' comp insurance when we switched to Pi.
It's as easy as pie to get the savings you deserve. What are you waiting for? Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote in 3 minutes at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
I love being a bartender. I love waiting tables. But at the end of my shift, my feet were killing me. And so I had to pretend like I was having a good time. And really, I couldn't wait to sit down. But it wasn't just my feet. It was also my knees were achy. A lot of neck pain, too. I was in so much pain. I kind of lost hope, really. And then I saw the Good Feet store, and that's when everything changed.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Kristen enjoy their work again without their feet getting in the way.
It was pretty shocking to realize that I'd been in so much pain, and suddenly I'm completely pain-free. Now that I have the Good Feet arch supports, I don't have to pretend to be happy. I'm genuinely happy. So, cheers. My name is Kristen, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
At Elk Grove Honda, we see every Honda buyer as a member of the family, so we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we would buy from ourselves. At Elk Grove Honda, we include many benefits that a private seller just can't match. Our Honda-trained technicians only certify our Hondas if they pass a thorough 182-point inspection, and our certified pre-owned Hondas are under 5 years old. So you know you're getting the newest Hondas in prime condition. See our exceptional selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Drive Guys are back with you on Sactown Sports. Pardon me. We were just checking out something. Kyle found something where somebody had apparently taken a shot at the Kings.
Yeah, I'm looking at this
my apologies.
Pregame interview on the Celtics.com site, their social media page. They have a game today against Charlotte, and Nemias Queta did a pregame interview, and the reporter, Mark D'Amico, asked him, what's it like to be surrounded by all these all-stars? You know, for the first time in your career, you're surrounded by so much talent. And he's like, yeah, it feels good and different to be surrounded by all this much talent. And it's kind of a shot. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just sensitive today because of everything that happened last night. But, I'm not letting any kind of slander or any kind of shots coming at my guy's way. It felt a little, and Nemi's our guy. I love Nemi. But he fell for that one. He fell for the banana in the tailpipe.
There's something to that. That's pretty above board, right? When you look at their lineup compared to the Kings.
So far, including the fan base. Have you had a chance to get on social media and see what everyone's been saying about you so far?
I take shots at the fans. But Tatum and Brown
Whitey, no.
And
so what? Who cares? You don't phrase a question like that. And I understand he's a team reporter, but that's taking a shot at Sacramento. I don't like it. I told you I'm a little sensitive today. I'm sensitive.
If you saw what he tweeted or posted to X. What were you so hot about last night?
I was hot about a number of things. It's preseason. I don't care if you win or lose. It's not that. But I was hot about 4 things. Let me give you those 4 things. Number 1, the Warriors announcers, Bob Fitzgerald and Kalina Azubuike. It was a Warriors infomercial. Watching that game on NBA TV, I felt like this was a promotional video that they're trying to send to season ticket holders to get people to buy tickets. And so it was just so biased and so bad. I texted you when they were looking at that replay or the out of bounds call. I'm like, this is embarrassing. It was so slanted towards the Warriors. So I was upset about that.
It was a Warrior broadcast.
Yes, it was. But we didn't need the second quarter infomercial for the park right outside Chase Center. I didn't need to hear about all that. So what? You got a nice arena.
You don't want to know how many tickets they've already sold for the WNBA?
Right, exactly. I didn't want to hear that. My Kings are doing big things right now. We're up by 17, 18 points. Can we talk a little bit about – so I was upset about that. I was also upset – with Steph Curry. He's tough for me. It's tough for me to watch this guy. As great of a player as he is, Hall of Famer, top 10 of all time, the whole kicking out his feet, begging for foul calls, everything, like it gets old, it gets tiring. Play the freaking game, Steph. You know, he's trying to be doing all these theatrics, falling on the ground. Dude, get up. That could be considered flopping. The NBA should crack down on that.
Absolutely.
He's trying to sell every single three-point attempt. And it's like, dude, you're not being touched. So I was upset about that. I was also upset with the officiating on the out-of-bounds play. Steph Curry's laying on his back halfway out of bounds, and you call it off Kevin Huerter? You don't say that Steph is out of bounds and then the review, and I'm watching the game, and Bob Fitzgerald, they for sure have to give this to the Warriors. And I'm sitting at home. No, they don't. If they want to get the call right, it should be Sacramento basketball. So I was upset about that. And lastly, I was upset that Steph freaking Curry beat us again.
Yeah.
And not that he beat us. He took delight in sending the Kings home again. It was sort of like PTSD. I had flashbacks to Game 7 of the playoffs. Seeing Steph doing the night, celebrating, it just rubbed me the wrong way. And so I went to bed in a bad mood. I woke up in a bad mood. I come in here in a bad mood. And I'm tired of the Warriors. There's just this arrogance with that franchise, with their players, with their broadcasters that just rubs me the wrong way.
Just hang on. To me, the upside of that is Steph Curry, he gives them the night last night. And, last year after he sent them home, he did, light the beam. For him to do that, and as you said, one of maybe the 10 greatest players ever, for him to do that, he has noticed. He has taken notice of the Kings and especially their fans.
Yeah.
And he feels a need to respond to that. And that's a good thing from our standpoint. Steph Curry feels a need to say, oh, yeah, light the beam.
You're right about that, Whitey, and I hadn't thought about that. But if we weren't a threat, he wouldn't do all that. But he clearly feels that the Kings are coming. We're about to knock them off the throne. And so you're 100% right about that.
And it's going to feel good. They're not going to beat the Kings every game.
Exactly. We get to see them. And that's the thing. They're celebrating like they won Game 8 of the playoffs last year. It was preseason, fellas. Calm down. You got this one. We'll see you next Friday. And so I'm hoping when we walk into Golden One Center next week, man, that place is about to blow. And it's going to be up to the players to make sure Draymond and Steph and those guys leave crying.
Now, as we get ready for the regular season, really what we have here in 1140 is like a week-long preview of the season, right? Because we're so excited.
Right.
Timothy asked a question here on the chat. Can you guys please explain how the in-season tournament works? We'll try as best we can because a lot of it is like we have to wait and see. But before we tell you how it works, this is how not to explain it. And this was the day that they announced it on ESPN. Brand new, right? Yeah, and this.
All right, everybody. The NBA first ever in-season tournament is now official. But how does it work? Like this. First up is group play. All 30 teams will be split into 6 groups. 3 from the East, 3 from the West, with a random draw based on last year's regular season records. Each team in a group plays each other one time. A total of 4 games, 2 at home, 2 on the road.
1, 2, 3, yeah.
Now, those games happen Tuesdays and Fridays in November, so set your calendar. Basically, these regular season NBA games also count as tournament games. Now, in each group, the team with the best group play record after those 4 games they're moving on. The team with the next best record in each conference, those two are the wild cards. Always watch out for the wild cards. Now, we get to the knockout round. 8 teams, single elimination. And you know what that means. Win and move on, or lose, and you're out. And the last 4 teams standing, guess what? You're headed to Vegas, baby.
Okay, so that's makes a little more sense maybe when watching on the TV. That's it in a nutshell.
Yes.
It's just, I think the weirdest thing, Kyle, is, well, you know this, because Kyle can't even figure out his schedule.
Right.
You know, when he's working, when he's not, where he's going, because there's this hole in the schedule that they won't be able to fill in until they know who wins which games in the first round of the tournament.
Yeah, December 3rd through the 9th. No, December 4th through the 9th. No games right now scheduled. And so that was my question regarding the in-season tournament, Whitey. I get it. You got 6 groups, 8 teams advance, so 6 teams that win their groups and the 2 wild cards. Then they play a single elimination tournament. I get all that. But then how do you schedule the games of the teams that don't make the semifinals? Like, where does the schedule become? Like, are we going to Memphis? Are we going to Brooklyn? Like, how does the NBA determine that? And so as a player and as a broadcaster, you're like, I don't know where I'm going to be that week, you know? And so that's what's confusing, like, to me. Nobody has answered, all right, how do you figure out that week? Where do those teams that, don't advance in the in-season tournament, how do you figure out who they play?
Do you think that what the NBA is trying to accomplish, is it worth going to this trouble that they're going to, shaking things up to this extent? Is it worth the effort from the NBA, in your view?
For the NBA, they obviously think it is. I don't think so. I think, the early games, let me look at the Kings schedule again. When you look at what they're doing in the in-season tournaments, like the November 10th game against OKC is the first in-season tournament game. I don't think that game takes on more magnitude from a fan standpoint than what it already did. OKC is a young, up-and-coming team. We're excited to see them no matter what, whether it's an in-season tournament game or not.
Nobody knows, right? Honestly, Nobody knows until the game is played and fans.
Right.
Maybe fans don't even know if they're going to respond to that or not.
Exactly. Maybe the only one is that final game where you might be on the bubble for advancing and you need to win. Maybe that takes on some added, but you won't know until that point. And that final game is against the Warriors.
Oh,
all right. That November 28th against the Warriors is the last in-season tournament pool play game. And so that game had already some heightened juice to it. And now, who knows, maybe the winner of that game advances. So it could be crazy when those two teams match up.
The toughest thing about explaining it is you have that hole in the middle where right now we don't know who's playing who.
Yes.
You have the finals. We know when it's going to be. We'll have to wait and see who's playing in them. We have the early round, but that knockout round, we have to wait and see, right? So that's why it's kind of hard to explain.
That's why it's hard. You got the schedule, and it's not even an 82-game schedule because you got that full week, and you got 3 or 4 games that still need to be scheduled. It's that big hole in the middle of the schedule that's throwing me off.
When we come back, what if I told you no NBA team has ever reached the NBA Finals after going winless in the preseason? Would that mean anything to you? That's next here with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to give coach options, give him guys that can help us win in a variety of areas. Obviously, our top guys are going to play every game, but there's going to be other times, whether it's injuries, matchups, we've got to have some variety on the bench for coach to point to and say, go in there and help us win.
Tune into every Kings game this season
on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Red Hawk Resort Casino is the best place to go all in and all out. Go all in at our table games, then go all out to win on the area's only 3-story indoor kart track. Or go all in for our famous award-winning buffet. Then go all out at our state-of-the-art 18-lane bowling center. And now with a world-class sports bar and beautiful resort hotel, you can go all in for fun and all out for comfort. We're Red Hawk Resort Casino, official casino partner of the Sacramento Kings.
It's the model year-end sales event at Acura of Stockton. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Lease a new Acura RDX or MDX. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton or AcuraofStockton.com, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Born in 1892 to a socially prominent family, she was the consummate athlete, proficient in golf, tennis, marksmanship, swimming, and car racing. Many considered her the greatest horsewoman of the century. She was a pioneer in the field of golf course development with 3 world-class courses on her resume: the Women's National Golf and Tennis Club, Cypress Point, and Pasatiempo. Working for SFB Morse of Pebble Beach fame led to her second golf course development, which many consider to be the greatest golf course in the world, Cypress Point, where she developed a lifelong friendship and professional relationship with famed architect Alistair McKenzie. Pasatiempo in Santa Cruz was her third development, where she hosted the likes of Bobby Jones, Will Rogers, Babe Saharias, and more. Today, her place is alongside many others in the World Golf Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Marion Hollins, a visionary golf course architect and pioneer of the game. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
It's time now for the Silver and Black Report, brought to you by ACR Home Services. For all your roofing and solar needs, visit acrhomeservices.com. Back-to-back home wins has put Las Vegas back to 500 at 3-3. To get over that mark, they need a road win at Soldier Field on Sunday. Both starting quarterbacks, Jimmy G and Justin Fields, are banged up, so which team's other players will step up? The all-time series record between the Silver and Black and Chicago, 8 wins apiece. That is your Silver and Black Report. Let ACR Home Services be your one-stop shop for all your home needs, starting with unbeatable roofing services. Right now, get a new roof and receive $1,000 off that roof. So sign up today and save with no payment for up to 12 months. And ACR is more than just a roofing company. Whether it's roofing, solar, electrical work, you name it, when you choose ACR Home Services, you're not just getting a contractor, you're partnering with a team that's invested in your satisfaction. That's ACR Home Services.
Hey guys, do you know what makes Revive Men's Health Sacramento different? You. Every Revive treatment and medication is personalized just for you. Revive has the experts that guys go to when their current treatment isn't working. They have a complicated medical condition, or they're just not happy with their daily performance. Since 2011, they've helped thousands of local men suffering with the symptoms of low T and ED. Their goal is simple: to get to the bottom of your issues and fix them. Your best performance requires more than generic ED medications or a low-dose testosterone booster at a low-ball price like you find online. Revive medications are custom compounded, affordable, and guaranteed to resolve your issues. Stop dealing with the symptoms of low T or ED. Book your free T-check and exam and save $199 today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit us at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Cooler temperatures mean it's time to reduce your outdoor water use. Water 1 day per week on Saturday or Sunday from November 1st through February 29th. Learn more about your home's watering schedule at sacwaterwise.com.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Happy Thursday, I'm Simone, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The rivalry chapters of the Kings and Warriors continue to be written as the two I-80 foes gave us another spirited preseason contest.
Stops, launches, scores the three-pointer, 116-115. The Warriors' first lead since it was 22-21 in the final minute of the first. And the Warriors stay unbeaten in the preseason thanks to a huge fourth quarter from Steph Curry.
Sacramento Kings will conclude the preseason portion of their schedule tonight when they face the Utah Jazz at Golden One Center. Drive Guys will be lacing you up with their hot takes and need-to-knows before that 7 p.m. tip. Our exclusive game night coverage jumps off at 5:30 right here on Sactown Sports, of course over at SactownSports.com, and as always on our Sactown Sports app. And we didn't forget about the NFL. Week 7 opens up with the Jaguars pulling up on the Saints with kickoff slated for 5:15. And finally, Game 3 of the NLCS underway. A wild pitch allows the Phillies to get on board 1-0 over the Diamondbacks, bottom of the 7th. I'm Simone. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to more Drive Guys.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Kyle Draper has struck a nerve. Kyle Draper expressing some, what I would call Steph Curry fatigue. The first person I know of who ever felt that was my good friend Chris Watkins. He expressed that months ago during the playoffs. And to be honest, when he first said it, I thought, what? I'd never heard anyone express that before, but you've just expressed it. Linda on the chat is like, Kyle, you're so right. Somebody else on the text line, it's like, first time I've agreed with you, Draper. So you really have touched a nerve here. And our guy Tin points out that when he talks about Steph, he says, hey, Curry made a bank 3 and then another to win the game. He's uncontrollable. I'd forgotten about the bank 3.
How lucky was that?
Yeah, exactly.
That was, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
There's no way that he meant to bank that. And then he fell down, too. He's falling down, flopping and everything.
There's also no other player in the world who makes that shot right now because everything is going his way. Everything.
Right. I mean, he can't do anything wrong right now. It just bothers me, man. It just bothers me.
We're brought to you by Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Let's go to the phones here. TC has been hanging on.
Guy.
TC, you're on with the Drive Guys. How are you today?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How y'all doing, man? Jace Whitey, what's going on?
What's up, TC?
Man, just feeling like a villain, man. Just tapped in, kind of just getting over that game, man. That game had me livid last night.
What upset you the most, TC? I just laid out 4 things I was pissed off about, and I'm still fired up. What were you upset about?
I was fired up, first and foremost, that they won. The Warriors even won. Second of all, that we blew the lead, that we had a double-digit lead the whole game. We blew that. And last of all, Curry hitting the shot, bro, that three-pointer. Like, if we would have went out, if we was losing and it would have been a close game, but dude hitting the game-winning shot, like, that set me off, bro. That set me off. And then I start Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm to that point. I'm with you 100%. Just Curry hitting that shot and looking all smug and doing the night, man. That just, we got to be ready come next Friday. And I'm not talking about the fans. Us fans, we're going to be ready, no doubt. But our boys should remember that. That should be bothering Fox and all those guys too.
They're going to be, you know what, Jason, why you look, they're going to be ready. The boys going to be ready. Mike got these guys together. I'm glad how he hold them accountable. Like, if you ain't doing what I'm asking you to do, bro, then you're going to be on the bench. The other thing to me is Sasha's looking like super slow, bro. And like, I don't know. Is he trying to get used to the game or like dude's looking super slow and like he's lost? Did we overhype him?
Thanks, TC. I think, TC suggesting maybe for a while we got to call him Slusha, huh?
I know. I thought he was going to come up with some nickname there. Yeah. I was like,
kind of like, what?
You know what? And let's address this, Whitey. Let's talk about this Sasha situation, because this is a situation where we thought this guy. I think, didn't you say he might be starting 50 games or something like that? You had some sort of take
40, but I also said before he got here that I would have traded him before he even got here.
What?
Yes. When we knew he was coming over and the Kings were looking for everything they needed to do to improve defensively, I said, if I can get a wing player who can defend, I would consider moving him. Not because I thought he was so bad, but I just thought, can a guy who's really that challenged defensively help you? So, yes, both things are true. I did say that. Okay. I also said I would consider moving him.
So if he agreed to come over, then you would trade him?
I would, yeah.
Think about it. What kind of business is that? Why do
he'd have to be on board with it, obviously, because otherwise you trade him to somebody and you go, no, I changed my mind.
I'm going back. Like,
so I understand that.
No, but here's the thing about Sasha, and to your point, I think he's a big part of what they were hoping to do this season. And we know about the defensive challenges, but what I'm seeing is offensively, he's not looking great right now. And what I see is he's thinking too much out there instead of just playing and reacting. I think he wants it so badly that he's pressing a little bit. If I'm him, when I get in the game, I'm going 3 or 4 possessions, not even looking to shoot. I'm just getting my legs under me. Maybe I'm cutting to the basket. Like my first shot should be something going to the basket. When he gets it now, it looks like he's searching for his 3-point shot. He's rushing it. Dude, let the game come to you. I feel like he's forcing it a little bit. And that's why I think, Kings fans, tonight is so important for Sasha. If I'm Mike Brown, the same way they did Keegan Murray, saying, Keegan, it's your night, it's your team, I want to see Sasha 30 minutes tonight, 25, 30 minutes, because they need to get his legs under him, get him in a groove right now, build his confidence up. Forget about whether he goes 2 of 12 or whatever it is. If he's taking good shots and he's engaged, put the ball in his hands a little more. We talked about it. Over in Europe, a lot of things were run through him. Run it through him a little, because I think you need to build him up for the regular season.
I think, and you know this, he's a really smart guy. What is he? I don't know, he speaks 3 languages, whatever.
3 languages, yeah.
And you don't have to spend much time with him to realize, okay, this is a very intelligent gentleman. I think he realizes right now that he is, to a degree, overmatched defensively, at least for now. And I think he's trying to overcompensate for that at the defensive end. Like, okay, well, I'm not playing well, but watch this. I'm going to score. And then I think everything's out of whack.
Yeah. And, one thing when I'm watching it too, I don't know how much they're actually running for him. And maybe the Kings offense isn't that way. They don't run things. But that first play was run specifically for Kevin Huerter. And so what I would like to see is tonight, run several plays for Sasha.
Yeah, that's a good point. Didn't they run? Do you remember this play? I think Monk has the ball. He's bringing it across the timeline, and he's actually gesticulating, like pointing to the corner, and then Sasha runs down there, and then he ends up with the shot. He missed it, but it looked like maybe they were running something there, and he didn't even know what they were doing.
Oh, and that's a bad look, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to run a play for you,
yeah,
and you don't even know what it is, and so I think it's critical. I talked about losing Kevin Huerter. I don't want to lose Sasha. And, I think he needs to have a good game for his own mentality, his own emotion. And so watch tonight. I would not be surprised if Sasha plays 25 minutes at least tonight. Like, I think tonight the starters, if they play the first quarter, and then that's it. Yeah. I think this is about developing the bench, instilling confidence in that second unit, building up Sasha. That's what I'm looking for tonight.
I would bet you anything, though, that as optimistic as the Kings are that he's going to help them, that they were never assuming that he'd be ready from day one of camp to help
you think that was a fan kind of media?
Sure, it was understandable, and I'm sure that, they hoped he could be, but I'm sure they're not stunned by the fact that you got a guy coming over from Europe who's having a hard time getting adjusted.
Right.
But I don't think they're shocked by that, so I think they realize, all right, it may take some time. I think they're still invested, but they're just not shocked that it's taken some time.
Yeah, probably not, because they've done their research with this guy. They put on a full court press to bring him over. He comes over with tons of credentials, obviously, but it's a different game. And he's not Luka or Gallinari or some of these other international players who have come over. Sasha's more of a bruising kind of, he can shoot the ball, yes, but it's not with his quickness, lateral quickness or his foot speed. He's not breaking you down. I would like to see him get his usage up tonight. Instead of just coming off screens, looking for a three, come off screens, try to get to the basket. Get to the foul line. Like, you got to do something to get yourself going, to build your confidence. And so it's going to be huge for him tonight.
He's not Luka, but he's got to be better eventually than Bjelica, right? Bjelica was a nice player, but he was also a EuroLeague MVP.
Yeah, that's a great comparison and because I like Bjelica and, his skill set.
Yeah.
And can Sasha be better than that? That's a tough question. I'm talking on this team. Where's his opportunity going to come? He's even at his best, he's the fourth option on this team behind Keegan, obviously Fox and Sabonis. And so Bielitsa, I thought, was a pretty good NBA player. If we could get him to be that or a little bit above, I think that's a win.
I'm with you. When we come back, how Mike Brown knows that preseasons are meaningless next. Drive Guy, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers. Spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
At Harbor Freight, we think you shouldn't have to break the bank to get great tools. Because we know that for some of you, tools are part of the job. And for others, they're just the beginning of making, fixing, restoring, and building. That's why we make high-quality tools that are priced affordably. Because we love being the start of all your working, making, fixing, restoring, and building. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
Well, Kyle Draper's Phillies, we'll get back to the Kings in a minute, but Kyle Draper's Phillies are playing now. And it's amazing how fans in Arizona, apparently they've given up on this series. It's best of 7. Phillies are up 2-0. But take a look at the ticket prices here. Single standing room tickets for Game 2 in Philly Tuesday night went for more than $450. Single standing room tickets. And according to, let's see, TickPick had tickets for today, Arizona Game 3, available for as low as $15.
What? $15?
Yeah. And I think Arizona, the last round, people were really behind them, and it just looks like now they look at this and go, we're not going to beat those guys.
Right. Good seats still available. I'm looking up when's the next game. Maybe I'll fly down there for the clincher when Game 4, maybe when my Phillies clinch it.
Oh, we are all even now in the 8th. So who knows? Maybe the Snakes turn this thing around, but it doesn't look like it, and it doesn't seem like the good fans of Arizona are that enthused about their Snakes right now. Here's the thing, Kyle. We know that the Kings are one of 2 winless teams in the preseason. Last night stung, and you pointed this out. Not because, they have to win a game, but because that was a game. That game was one they tried to win, and they had a lead, and they lost it. But no team, according to my research, and some of this is a little sketchy, some of the records on this, no team has ever reached the NBA Finals after going winless in the preseason. And you got the Mavericks right now, and the Kings are winless. If they lose tonight, whatever, it would be nice to win a game.
Right. That stat tells me the Kings are going to win tonight.
Yeah?
Yes. When you say, no team that has won the NBA Finals has gone winless in the preseason. Well, all right, our boys will get it done tonight.
Okay.
All
right.
I think that's just an anomaly.
It doesn't mean
it doesn't mean. And how many teams actually go winless in the preseason? Especially back in the day when they had 7-8 preseason games.
Right. Right.
So
yeah. Mike Brown, though, he knows more than most how meaningless it is. The 2006-2007 Cavaliers that he coached, they were 1-7 in the preseason, and they went to the finals.
They went to the finals.
They lost to the Spurs, and then the next year they were 1-7 again in the preseason, and they underperformed a little bit, but they did make the playoffs. So the win-loss stuff doesn't matter. That's not really what last night was about.
No, not at all. It's about lineups. It's about how you play. It's about minutes. You got to factor all that. Tonight when they take on the Utah Jazz, if the starters don't play and they lose, you know what? That has no, impact on the regular season. I will say, though, if you're a coach, what you want to see is by the end of the preseason, everybody on the same page. Guys aren't lost, so that's why tonight's so important for Sasha out there. You've got 5 games in now. Like, things should start to be looking smooth offensively. Guys should know their positions. And so that's what I'm looking for tonight.
Mm-hmm. Last night, what stunk was that the Kings had a game that they wanted to win, and they were up by 18. They were up 17 in the fourth quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, they got outscored 40-26. And the Warriors shot in the fourth quarter, the Warriors shot 71.4%.
Yeah.
And they shot 70% from 3. And even if you take Steph out of that, take Steph's numbers out, the Warriors were 10 for 14 from the floor. And let's see, they were 3 for 6 from beyond the arc. That's without Steph Curry. So the Kings defense was non-existent in the fourth quarter. Obviously, you want to win on the road. You got to make your free throws. They didn't do that. And you got to play a little bit of defense. So that's what's frustrating and a little trouble.
Yeah, I agree. It's especially seeing Steph Curry go off. But like you said, other guys, were able to knock down shots also. And that shows you that the Kings still aren't there just yet. And as a coach, Mike Brown, best believe he pulled film of that fourth quarter and laid into his guys about what happened. Because really, if you want to be a championship level team, that was a game. First of all, they had the big lead. But then down the stretch, you're supposed to get it done if you want to be a championship level team. Give the Warriors a lot of credit. When you look at it, they did a heck of a job shooting the ball in that fourth. And the Warriors, to me, are a team that once they get going, once it starts to snowball, you're in some trouble, man. Once Steph starts going, we saw it last night, you're in deep trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that fourth quarter he had that'd be a great game for anybody.
Yes. And look at it. Let's look at the 3-point shooting in that fourth quarter alone. 7 of 10 for the Warriors. The Kings 1 of 7.
Yep.
There you go, right there.
Right.
That's the game right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, sure, the defense wasn't great, but then the offense disappeared also. That the 3-point shooting disappeared. And so that's another reason why they lost that game.
And I wonder if this is something that's going to have to shift for the Kings. And I'm not suggesting this is why they lost the game. But last night, we touched on this earlier. Last night in the fourth quarter, De'Aaron Fox, he had 11 points. He took 5 shots in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Keegan Murray, who had a really good game, right?
Yep.
Keegan Murray finished with 24. He only took 1 shot in the fourth quarter. So, he was one of their best offensive players last night. Maybe De'Aaron, he's the clutch player of the year last year and everything. He dominated the fourth quarter. Maybe eventually Keegan has to become a little bit more a part of the fourth quarter offense for them to be at their best.
Yeah, maybe. And let me ask you this, though. We've seen De'Aaron delivers time and time and time again.
That. Yeah.
And so do you think they're deferring to De'Aaron? All right, it's fourth quarter. And do you think it would be better that they just still ran their offense, equal opportunity involved? Or do you like De'Aaron taking over in that time?
Well, honestly, I would like them to run their offense more, but I know that 90% at least of Kings fans are going to go, what are you talking about? He was great last year.
Right.
And I understand that. But that just may be something as a team evolves that maybe it's not so Fox dependent in the fourth quarter, as good as he is.
And that's not only on Keegan, but that may be on Fox as well.
Yeah.
To realize, you know what? You don't always have to do it all by yourself.
Don't you know sometimes, and the other team knows as well, fourth quarter, what's going to happen.
Right.
Who's getting the ball, what they're going to do with it.
Right, exactly. And, for De'Aaron Fox, he's already proven he can be clutch. And this is something I mentioned earlier.
No question.
Now you got to show that you know how to read the game and make the extra pass and get others involved. And so
if Keegan is capable of carrying that load, we don't know yet.
We don't know.
It looked like it, but yeah.
Right. We just don't know. And to your point about that fourth quarter, when you look at it, Keegan took 1 shot. Harrison took more shots.
Yeah.
Domas took more shots.
Yes.
Herter took more shots.
Yes.
JaVale McGee took more shots.
Mm-hmm.
Sasha took more shots. Kobe Jones took more shots.
Yep.
Keegan can't disappear in the fourth.
Right.
He needs to be part of whatever it is they got going on.
Yeah.
So, he needs to be part of it.
Yeah, and that may be one of the reasons the offense sputtered so badly in that fourth quarter. One of your best offensive player of the night for whatever reason, they couldn't get him going.
Yeah, so I agree. He has to be more of a focal point in the fourth quarter. I agree. Like De'Aaron Fox is the number one guy, sure. Yes. But Keegan has to be second, I think. Or Domas. Like one of those guys, no offense, Kobe, no offense, Sasha. And I understand they played early in the fourth, but Keegan has to get involved late in games. Mm-hmm. And that's the development, though. I mean, he's only a second-year player, but it's not on Fox necessarily. It's on Keegan to play like he did the first three quarters. That's all we're asking. Mm-hmm. We're not asking to do anything that you're not capable of doing.
I am a little bit mildly concerned about the way De'Aaron is shooting the three ball in the preseason. Because, that's been one of it. Hasn't been a strength. And last year, he started the year great.
Right.
So I know he worked really hard on it last year in the offseason. So it's another thing here. If I'm being honest, but I get concerned about these things. I get overly concerned about these. Any little sign of trouble, like, oh no, that's a bad sign. So,
what's interesting about De'Aaron Fox, you're right. He started off great last year from the three, finished 32.4%, this past season. His second year, he was a 37.1%.
Yep.
What's the number in terms of attempts you think De'Aaron Fox from three you would like?
Attempts.
He shot 5 per game last year, 4.2 the game before season before, 5.5 before that. Is it 3 a game? In today's NBA, I'm talking now too.
Well, it's one of the things that Chris and I had been talking about during the summer. Is and I think he agreed with me. We'd like to see the Kings take more threes. They didn't. If you look at the number of threes they took last year compared to the rest of the league, they were kind of behind. They lagged behind. And I think they have, especially if Vezenkov starts shooting the ball better, I think that is one area, again, where the offense, as great as it was last year, could even get better. So I'd like to see them take more threes if they're shooting the ball well. But I think for De'Aaron Fox, around 5 or 6 is a pretty good number unless he starts making a higher.
I might even say 3 or 4, to be honest with you, unless that number starts going up. I do know for a fact that they want to chuck up the threes. Like the more threes, the better.
Yeah.
I think their magic number is 45 per game in terms of threes attempted per game. And so I just think, what type of threes are you getting is key as well. For De'Aaron Fox, I think the catch and shoot threes is where he's money. I'd have to look up the numbers, but I would imagine he's better at catch and shoot. The off the dribble threes, maybe not as much. And so I feel like sometimes watching De'Aaron last night, maybe he let the Warriors off the hook a little bit. You're watching the broadcast, and that's what they were talking about. Let De'Aaron shoot the three. And so, sometimes you let the defense off the hook by shooting threes. And so I'm not, I would like to see De'Aaron 36, 37%. I think he's capable of that. We saw that at the beginning of last season, but I think he has to be more judicious about which threes he takes. I don't like the off the dribble, just chuck it up threes. I like it in the flow of the offense, maybe catch and shoot.
Not to get bogged down in numbers, but this is significant going forward for the Kings potentially. You look at last year. Look at last year in the NBA, 3-point attempts per game. Warriors, 43.2 per game. That was first. Boston at 42.6. The Mavericks at 41, the Bucks at 40, the Jazz at 37.8, and the Kings were 6th at 37.3. And with as many really potentially skilled 3-point shooters as they have, I think that number could go up. And you say they're aiming at
45 is like, 45 is, the number they have circled where they do want to get it up. Mike Brown talked about it last season. Let it fly, get the shots up. And so maybe we'll see that, tonight and going into the regular season. That's a key number to think, keep an eye on. If they shoot 40 or more threes, what's their record versus, anything less than that?
Mm-hmm. When we come back, this rivalry, the Warriors and Kings, is it the best rivalry in the NBA? Some national analysts talking about that today. Hear what they had to say next as the Drive Guys continue on Sactown Sports.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award? Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Skies will stay clear through the night tonight with overnight lows in the upper 50s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny day with highs in the mid to maybe upper 80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app. Winter's coming, so let's kick off the cold season right and get your heater all tuned up. Now just $79. No matter how cold it gets outside, you'll always be warm and toasty inside. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At Elk Grove Honda, we see every Honda buyer as a member of the family, so we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we would buy from ourselves. At Elk Grove Honda, we include many benefits that a private seller just can't match. Our Honda-trained technicians only certify our Hondas if they pass a thorough 182-point inspection, and our certified pre-owned Hondas are under 5 years old. So you know you're getting the newest Hondas in prime condition. See our exceptional selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
As a mom, I'd do anything to keep my child out of physical pain. As a doctor, I know that growth spurts can cause pain in my child's feet, and that can affect their legs and back too.
This is Dr. Pamela Maida, a board-certified orthopedic surgeon.
Children especially benefit from arch supports as a sturdy and supportive foundation for their developing feet. If your kids have pain, then I recommend Youth Arch Supports from the Good Feet store.
Youth Arch Supports are designed to alleviate, even eliminate common pain in the feet, knees, hip, or back. If your child is physically active with sports, clubs, or even on the playground, they may benefit from the comfort and support found in Good Feet Youth Arch Supports.
I firmly believe that investing in Youth Arch Supports for your child or teen is one of the best decisions you can make to support their feet.
See how Youth Arch Supports can help with a free arch support fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
This is the Red and Gold Report, brought to you by EB Stone. EB Stone for the life of your garden. Well, it was a gut punch week for the 49ers, losing their first game in a calendar year to the Cleveland Browns 19-17 on the road. Brock Purdy had his worst performance of his career, only throwing for 125 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and throwing his first interception of the season. Despite that, the 49ers had a chance to win the game, but missed it late due to a missed field goal by rookie kicker Jake Moody from 41 yards out. The 49ers will look to make good in Week 7 when they go on the road again against the Minnesota Vikings on Monday Night Football.
With over 100 years as a family-owned company, EB Stone's learned a few things about making plants grow. Start a healthy family hobby with indoor planting with EB Stone's Edna's Best Indoor and Outdoor Potting Soil to help your little plants grow into the perfect indoor plant for the kids and family to enjoy. EB Stone's Indoor and Outdoor Potting Soil is perfectly blended with all the important ingredients you need to create that perfect indoor and outdoor plant or garden. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. Visit ebstone.org for more gardening tips, products, and locations near you.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
When your people are ready, your business is ready. Cintas makes sure they have what they need to perform their best. Whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job imaginable, fire protection systems that are tested and inspected, first aid and safety supplies, floor mats, or cleaning tools and restroom products, stocked and ready when you need them. Better work days happen together, so visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Happy Thursday, I'm Simone, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The rivalry chapters of the Kings and Warriors continue to be written as the two I-80 foes gave us another spirited preseason contest.
Stops, launches, scores the three-pointer, 116-115. The Warriors' first lead since it was 22-21 in the final minute of the first. And the Warriors stay unbeaten in the preseason thanks to a huge fourth quarter from Steph Curry.
Sacramento Kings will conclude the preseason portion of their schedule tonight when they face the Utah Jazz at Golden One Center. Drive Guys will be lacing you up with their hot takes and need-to-knows before that 7 p.m. tip. Our exclusive game night coverage jumps off at 5:30 right here on Sactown Sports, of course over at SactownSports.com, and as always on our Sactown Sports app. And we didn't forget about the NFL. Week 7 opens up with the Jaguars pulling up on the Saints with kickoff slated for 5:15. And finally, Game 3 of the NLCS underway. We are all tied up 1-1 between the Phillies and Diamondbacks, top of the 9th. I'm Simone. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to more Drive Guys.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Want to clear up any confusion that might exist over how long we're on today, because typically on Thursdays we go to Thursday night football about 4:30, but we're taking you up to game night. Pardon me. Here, I'm the one that's confused, with Scott Marsh and Henry Turner at 5:30. So we're with you till 5:30. Then we'll get you ready for Kings basketball. I know there's been a lot of people worried that we were leaving the airwaves early tonight, Kyle.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, no, we need more Drapes and Whitey here. This is a great show, but we got you covered. We got another hour. Take you up to game night. And is this a must-win preseason game? Okay, all right. Come on. All right. Just making sure, man. Just making sure.
This may be a must-win, though, for Sac State. Sacramento State football back at home this Saturday night for a nationally televised primetime game versus Montana State. Kickoff 7:30 p.m. and get your tickets at hornetsports.com. No, it's not a must-win, but is this rivalry between the Kings and the Warriors, is it the best rivalry in the NBA? We're going to hear what your friend, right?
Yeah,
Kendrick
my guy,
Perkins
Kendrick Perkins. Yeah, but maybe we'll get him on next week, too. He's a busy guy right now, but yeah, that's my guy.
We'll hear what he had to say about it. What do you think?
I'm going to say no. And here's why. In my blood, yes. Right now, yes. The Warriors, I hate them more than any other team. But historically, I still think when you have Lakers, Celtics, to me, that's the best rivalry in all of sports. The Lakers, Celtics, every game means something. They don't see each other a lot.
Right.
And so when they do, it's just some added intensity to it. So I would go Lakers, Celtics, followed by Kings, Warriors.
I need that rivalry to be renewed. Not that I would want to see the Lakers in the finals, but, if this group of Lakers played these Celtics, that would be a pretty interesting series. Yes. And that would kind of relight the flame. I understand your point, though. I mean, historically, it's hard to find any NBA rivalry that matches that one.
And they each have 17 championships. So they're in a race to win that 18th. Since the Lakers won that bubble championship, they've tied with the Celtics. And so there's just some added, there's just a deep-seated hatred between those two cities and fan bases.
What was the story of Rick Fox wearing number 17 when he went to LA? You ever heard that story?
Is that? No, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, I think we had him on and he explained it. I think the story was, I wore number 17 when I went to the Lakers because we were going to win number 17 before they did, which I think they did, right?
Celtics won it in 2008. They won their 17.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that was his thinking.
Yes, that was. So he was trolling a little bit.
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. Here's Kendrick Perkins today on NBA Today on ESPN. We asked the question: is Kings Warriors the best rivalry right now in the NBA?
Bam! I'm going to take number one because I don't like you anyway. You just a colleague. I'm going with the Golden State Warriors and the Sacramento Kings. Yes, I mean, it's right there, and this is the reason why. We're talking about preseason. That was a playoff-type atmosphere in preseason. Imagine how these regular season games are going to go when the Sacramento Kings and Golden State, De'Aaron Fox and Steph Curry match up, Sabonis and Draymond. We know they got beef. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? I ain't just talking. I'm speaking the gospel sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with him?
It's No, because I mean, it's a great rivalry right now. It's better than it's ever been. So it's great. So I don't really care what other people around the country think about it. But because the Kings don't have as many superstars, I think the national picture of it would be not quite up there yet with some of the bigger name rivalries.
What are some of the bigger names? Lakers, Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
What else? What other rivalries?
Heat,
Celtics, Bucks, Heat.
I'm trying to think in the East.
Yeah. What are the Western Conference rivalries?
Boston, Philly's not bad right now.
It's not
right?
bad. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Western Conference, Denver Lakers, like Lakers Warriors.
Lakers and just about everybody.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I think Lakers and everybody. Then you add in the LeBron effect of that as well. And so I don't know, man. It's funny because I think the Eastern Conference has stronger rivalries than the Western Conference, I think. You know, you talk about Philly, Boston. You know, those they go back way
closer together.
They're
regionally.
closer together. Maybe that's part of it too. It's like you can get to Philly to Boston in 6 hours. You can get Boston and New York in 3 hours. And so I think that proximity for the Western Conference, to me, I do think Warriors Kings right now is the best rivalry in the West.
Yeah, it could be. And it's interesting because I don't think rivalries tend to last as long. Like just go back a few years, and that's because players move around so much. The Cavaliers and the Warriors was an all-time great rivalry. And now it's like
because guys move around, right? Yeah. No, you're 100% right about that. And what do you think? Do we need more rivalries in the NBA? Like outside of the Lakers, you know, and the Warriors, do the Kings need to hate the Spurs or some other do we need
you know why? I think that gets to me. Excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Yeah. But I think that gets down to teams matter, not the individuals. When your boy Adam Silver took over as commissioner, one of the things he said was, look, we're going to emphasize teams, not so much individuals. Because, you know, and the NBA did a great job under Commissioner Stern. It was Magic and it was Bird and it was Jordan. And then, of course, they had great teams too. But Silver said, we're going to emphasize team versus team. And I don't think they haven't done that. I think they realize people aren't as interested in that. But I think it's a stronger league when you have a strong identity as a fan of what this team's for, what that team's for.
Right.
It's difficult with the player movement, but I think it makes for a stronger league. Yeah,
I agree. And, you know, I think player movement is a big reason why you don't see as many rivalries that, think about it. Rivalries usually are developed over time, you know, and, you know, if De'Aaron Fox is here forever, Steph Curry, they see each other, you know, that's how that rivalry becomes deep, you know. You look at some of the other teams, Lakers, Clippers, let's say. That's a rivalry because it's in LA, but it's not really it doesn't seem like
it should be, but I'm waiting for it to happen.
Yeah, but the reason why Cavs Warriors was a rivalry is because they saw each other in the finals so many times. It was like, you know, those two teams were going for it. You know, I just think when you look at when LeBron was with Miami, Heat Celtics was a rivalry, but then it sort of took a backseat a little bit. Now it's reborn once LeBron left and everything. I just think, you know, it takes time to develop these rivalries, and rivalries are born in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
This Warriors-Kings rivalry is not as deep if they didn't play each other in the playoffs last season.
Right. The thing is, big picture is it the biggest rivalry? Maybe, I don't know, but it's a genuine rivalry now. And for decades, it was not. And it was one of those things, like you say, like Clippers-Lakers. Well, that should be a rivalry. Let's watch. No, it's not yet.
You just don't feel it.
Yeah. And Kings-Lakers is. And again, Kings-Warriors is. I know I said this earlier, but that's the great thing from the standpoint of a Kings fan about Steph doing what he does, because he knows it. He's taken note of the Kings and their fans to the point where he feels the need to give the night-night.
So it's a good thing he's doing the night-night.
Very good thing.
Okay. It's good for the rivalry, I'll tell you that.
Yes.
I'm not as steaming mad today if he doesn't do the night-night, if he just walks off, shakes hands, and everything like that. But because he did it, and to your point, he would not have done that as gleefully if he was playing the Pelicans or something like that.
Right.
He because it was against the Kings, it meant more to him.
Yeah, because the Kings are up and coming and the Warriors are hanging on. I'll tell you what, though, they looked really good last night.
Who, Warriors?
The Warriors looked really
Come on,
good
man.
considering they didn't have, they didn't have Draymond, they didn't have Loon.
Did they look good in the fourth, or did they look good all night?
They looked good in the fourth, which is significant because Chris Paul came off the bench and he finished. He didn't start for the first time ever, but he finished and he was really good. And I was thinking they're going to have some problems figuring all that out. Maybe they still will. But for one night, it looked like they had it figured out. And that's
scary.
A little bit.
That's scary. I mean, but, them figuring it out is get the ball to Steph and hit some unbelievable three-pointers.
He'll bank one in.
Right, bank one in. That's what we saw last night.
Yeah. Speaking of basketball, when we come back, how long can the Sixers allow James Harden to sabotage them? We have some new information on all of that. Share it with you next year with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Igor, my faithful companion, it is time to prepare for the night. The shadows grow long, and the creatures of the night stir with excitement.
Yes, Master Dracula. What do you require of me?
I need you to fire up the hearse. Elk Grove Kia is having a Halloween sale that is to die for. We're going to upgrade you a new car worthy of the Prince of Darkness. I'm so excited. It is making my blood shiver.
But Master, with your credit history, aren't you worried you're going to get turned down?
Igor, shut up. Elk Grove Kia's finance department has over 100 years of experience. They can even get me approved, even with my troubled past. And Elk Grove Kia's exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on all new Kias, it's almost like having an immortal car.
Elk Grove Kia's Halloween sale is so good, it's scaring the competition. In fact, it's so scary, we can't even advertise the pricing. So whether you're in need of a new or used car, make your way to Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or visit us at elkgrovekia.com.
Individual rates, coverage, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. Hey, small business owner, when's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But some don't check their rate often. Did you know rates can vary? In fact, taking 3 minutes to check your rate with Pi Insurance could save you up to 30%. Just go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for you with no hassle or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could save you money. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi, or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Speaking of rivalries, as we were here with the Drive Guys, the Lakers-Celtics all-time greatest rivalry in the NBA, and I just want to clarify the situation. Rick Fox and his number, because I brought that up. He wore number 17 with the Celtics. Then when he went to the Lakers, 44 was his old number. That was retired. So he settled on 17. He said, every year I went to training camp with the goal of helping the Celtics win their 17th. That has become my reminder. Now the race is on in my mind to see if they get their championship before I get mine.
Okay.
So that's why I took
that's
17.
what it was. All right.
Yeah, when he went to the Lakers. Yeah, and we have a question here about rivalries from Derek, Whitey, and Kyle. Do you guys think that in-season tournaments are going to create more rivalries?
Zero chance. Are you with me on that?
I want to say yeah, but
no way. Like, I don't think so. I just don't think so. Unless it's, two teams always playing for the in-season tournament championship or something like that. But
wait, look, Kevin Herter is in there right now. Someone put it.
Oh, we got Herter behind me. Hey, what's up?
Kevin Herter.
K9.
Yeah.
Red Velvet. I like that. Who's back there?
I don't know who put that up there, but
we got Simone. All right.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's an interesting thought, Derek, but I think it's going to take years before the players really even care about it.
Right. Like when they play OKC on the 10th, are the players going to be thinking, this is an in-season tournament game. I got to play harder tonight.
Domas says he's excited.
He's excited, but wouldn't he already be excited to go against Oklahoma City? Now, if it was, Houston or something like that, maybe you're not as excited. You don't get up to that. But that game already has, some added oomph to it because that'll be a team you're vying with in the Western Conference.
I am looking forward to the games in Vegas, the Final Four.
Yes.
I want to see.
Yes.
I'll be in Okinawa at the time, but I'll be watching.
Oh, my God.
I'll be watching closely.
What, at like 6 a.m. or something, 9 a.m.?
Don't even know. But that championship game, that's going to be an interesting test. There'll be a little more juice to it, won't there? A regular season game, although the championship game isn't, right?
Yeah,
Most
the
of them are,
championship
but
game
that
isn't. Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. But, I will say $500,000 is on the line. And so maybe, for the big stars, maybe that doesn't move the needle as much. But, for some of the reserves or lesser paid guys, that might be something big. I was talking to Alex English. I golfed with him on Monday in that charity event, and we were talking about the in-season tournament. And I was like, the winner gets $500,000. And he was blown away, because he played in an era where, there weren't multi-million-dollar contracts. And he was like, oh, my gosh, these guys got it great today and everything. And so, maybe it will move the needle for some guys, that championship game.
Yeah, just think if you're an end-of-the-bench guy, you're probably not going to play. You're going to be waving that towel.
Right. I wonder,
go.
If you're on the roster or a two-way guy, do you get it? Like if you're the 13th man, if you're Kobe Jones or somebody like that, or, Jalen Slauson or somebody like that, you get $500,000 check.
Yeah.
I'm diving.
Let's go. What do you need? You need a Gatorade?
Right.
What can I get you?
Yeah. So we'll see. Hopefully the Kings will be there. That would be nice to see them advance to the championship of that.
You have Philly ties.
Yes.
What do you think of this Harden situation? How long can the Sixers allow this to drag on?
Shams reported today that Harden was away for the team for personal reasons. So I don't know, how accurate that is, but I think Philly's in a tough predicament right now because James Harden gives them the best possible chance at competing for a championship. They need him on that team. If he's gone or if he's not participating, it's Embiid, Maxey, and then it really falls off Tobias a little bit. But they clearly are behind the Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks. James Harden at least gives them a puncher's chance. And so I think Daryl Morey, sure, you may want to deal him, but you can't give him away for pennies on the dollar. And so I don't know what they do. I feel like James Harden has all the leverage in this situation.
Daryl Morey's upset because he is accusing the Clippers of not being serious about a deal because according to reports, they essentially have agreed on the Clippers giving up an unprotected first, a pick swap, and then enough players to match salaries. But the Sixers also want Terrence Mann. And the Clippers say, no, we're not giving you Terrence Mann. And the Sixers, again, Daryl Morey says, if you're not going to give me Terrence Mann for James Harden, you're not serious about this. Daryl Morey also is upset because he says, James Harden should be mad at the Clippers, not us, because we're trying to trade him, and the Clippers are the ones who won't agree to this very reasonable deal. So I don't know how that's going to go. This is interesting. Philadelphia, according to this report, this may be Sam Amick, Philadelphia is known to already have trades lined up in which it would receive a first-round pick in exchange for Terrence Mann. But they can't get Terrence Mann.
Trying to flip from
the Clippers.
Wow. And who put the Sixers in this predicament? It's James Harden. Come in, play, go to practice, raise your stock, your value. The problem now is the Clippers don't have to compete with anybody for James Harden. They don't have to, why would they bid against themselves? Sort of like, Miami. Miami thought they were the only team, and you know what? Eventually, Portland, you got to get a deal done with us until Milwaukee came in. Now, if another team came in, I think that would entice, the Clippers to include Man or at least up their offer. Right now, the Clippers are saying, go ahead, find somebody else. Go get another trade, another team to take part in it. And the Sixers just can't. Nobody wants James Harden right now.
Do you think that if the Bucks knew that bringing in Dame would send Drew Holiday to Boston, would they have still done it?
I don't think they do that. I just don't think they do that.
Jerry Reynolds told me that. He goes, I don't think they would have done that.
I don't think they would have. Like, you're sending, to your biggest rival, like your biggest competition. Yeah. And so that's why that trade for the Bucks is going to come back. As great as Dame is, great as Giannis, they may be great, but you also made the Celtics stronger too. Yeah. That has to hurt. Don't you got to have some foresight on that? Don't you have to see, Portland probably doesn't want to keep Drew, and he might be a free agent, or he might be able to go somewhere else. I don't know. That's going to hurt. Yeah. Drew might be the difference in that series.
I think he will be. But I also think the Bucks looked at it and said, Giannis is unhappy. We have to make sure he's happy. If we get Dame, he's happy. Well, then what's going to happen with Drew? We don't know, but we can't worry about it. We got to make sure Giannis wants to stay, So they were kind of, again, at the cross purposes where we got to keep our superstar happy. And if we don't bring in Dame, he's not happy.
Is there no other way to get it done? I
don't know. Believe me, I'm with you on Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
I think Boston wins the championship this year.
Thanks to the Milwaukee Bucks.
I think that's the biggest piece of the puzzle. Yeah. And I know you have pointed out that they don't have necessarily great depth. They can address
in that front court.
It's a great point, but man, that's a talented team.
I know. Like, they had some serious holes before getting Drew Holiday. They got rid of Marcus Smart, let him go to Memphis. He was their defensive identity. And so not only were they thin in the front court, but they were lacking some defensive perimeter defense. Now you get arguably a top 2-3 perimeter defender, a clutch guy, a guy that can score, and you don't have to give up anything, really. Like, they didn't, you give up Robert Williams, sure. You give up Brogdon. Brogdon was unhappy. I mean, the Celtics, their moves they made this season before the Drew Holiday trade, I was scratching my head. Now they look like the favorites.
You get a much better Marcus Smart,
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. A two-way Marcus Smart, yeah.
All right. We take a quick timeout. When we come back, has order been restored to the Kings starting lineup? What Kyle has to say about that is next with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. What is happening, Chad, for Ram Power Days?
The biggest sale of the year with up to $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn and Laramie Crew Cabs. Or save up to $6,000 off MSRP and get thousands more with 0% financing for 72 months.
So pretty much all your Rams are on sale and 0% financing?
That's what makes us different. Hoblet is always looking out for you, which is why we have up to $8,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 2500 Crew Cabs too. And With over 500 Rams available, we're sure to have your perfect truck at California's #1 Ram truck dealer.
Wow, these deals can't last long. See their whole inventory at HoblettDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
12,000 total net savings after 6,000 factory rebates and 6,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include $1,000 loyalty bonus cash for current owners of Stellantis brand vehicle and $1,000 case construction cash. Must have purchased eligible case equipment from qualifying dealer. Or take 0% financing for 72 months plus 6,000 dealer discounts. Offer on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. Must have 700 plus FICO score to qualify. 0% for 72 months equals $1,389 per thousand borrowed. 8,000 total net savings after 3,000 factory rebates and 5,000 dealer discounts. Rebates may include $1,000 case construction and 500 first responder bonus cash for current members of eligible First Responder Association. 10 of each offer. See dealer for details.
Hey, Sacramento! It's almost time for your reigning Pacific Division champion Sacramento Kings to take the court for the new NBA season.
A two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
Be sure to get your tickets to see the Kings in action as we look to light the beam this season. Don't miss the rivalry matchups coming to Golden One Center for opening weekend as the Kings face the Warriors on Friday, October 27th, and the Lakers on Sunday, October 29th. Find your tickets now at kings.com/tickets. And together, let's bring the roar.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Type it on the local level. Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines. Happy Thursday. I'm Simone, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The rivalry chapters of the Kings and Warriors continue to be written as the two I-80 foes gave us another spirited preseason contest.
Stops, launches, scores the three-pointer, 116-115. The Warriors' first lead since it was 22-21 in the final minute of the first. And the Warriors stay unbeaten in the preseason thanks to a huge fourth quarter from Steph Curry.
Sacramento Kings will conclude the preseason portion of their schedule tonight when they face the Utah Jazz at Golden One Center. Drive Guys will be lacing you up with their hot takes and need-to-knows before that 7 p.m. tip. Our exclusive game night coverage dumps off at 5:30 right here on Sactown Sports, of course over at SactownSports.com, and as always on our Sactown Sports app. And we didn't forget about the NFL. Week 7 opens up with the Jaguars pulling up on the Saints with kickoff slated for 5:15. And moments ago, Diamondbacks walk it off 2-1 over the Phillies. I'm Simone. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to the last half hour of the Drive Guys.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Yeah, the Kings fell last night, but has order been restored to the starting lineup? See what Kyle Draper has to say about that here coming up on the Drive Guys. Would you like, before we get to that, Kyle?
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you got?
I got some breaking news. Simone,
news.
Do we got a breaking news stinger or anything like that?
We do.
Can I get that, please? Can I get that, please?
We got it coming up.
When it breaks,
we have it first.
It's Sactown Sports breaking news.
Hot off the presses, the Sacramento Kings taking on the Utah Jazz tonight. I got an update on the lineup tonight. Who's in, who's out. No Chris Duarte. No De'Aaron Fox, team decision. Trey Lyles is out with the left calf injury. Keegan Murray out with an illness, they're saying. And Domantas Sabonis is out tonight, team decision.
Wow.
So let's run through that again. No Duarte, no Fox, no Lyles, no Murray, and no Domantas Sabonis tonight.
Wow, we're
against
talking
the
about
Utah Jazz.
Yeah. So Leandro Barbosa starting.
Right, exactly. Doug Christie is back in the lineup.
All right, whatever works.
This just came across. No, this is huge, right? I mean, this is. I'm not surprised. Now, what I'm looking at, and I talked about it earlier, this is Sasha's night, right?
Yeah.
This is Sasha, Kevin Herter, who else? You know, Malik's going to show out. I'm not worried about him. But this is your night, guys. Mike Brown deciding to rest a couple of guys. Keegan out with an illness. No Fox, no Domas, no Trey Lyles, no Chris Duarte.
Now, he had suggested earlier today or last night, right, that everyone was going to play. That's what, and I understand things change, but we had mentioned that so that we didn't know that the team is going to be making these decisions. Understand it, but he had given indications that more people were going to play.
Yeah, we thought, we would see the starters maybe tonight, but he did say, I want to see how the guys come out of the game, see how they feel before the game tomorrow, and make that decision. And I'm okay with this. It's a prudent decision.
Course.
You need these guys ready for Wednesday, and you don't want to risk any injury or anything like that.
And Utah's resting Jordan Clarkson, John Collins, Lauri Markkanen, and Kelly Olynyk tonight.
Yeah, they're resting their big guns. And so this is an opportunity. When I used to work with Brian Scalabrine, he used to say he loved it when Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and those guys rested because that meant he got to eat. It was his turn. And that's what I want to see from Sasha tonight and some of the other guys. It's your turn to eat tonight.
So Sasha's the leading scorer tonight?
He should be.
Colby Jones.
Colby Jones might be. You might see a 15-7-4 kind of night from Colby Jones tonight, man. He's going to be good.
With 23.
Right. Davion will get it up. Yeah, so it should be fun tonight.
Sacramento State football, by the way, is back at home this Saturday night for a nationally televised primetime game versus Montana State. Kickoff 7:30 p.m. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Would you like to hear from the text line another suggestion for the NBA's top rivalry?
Yeah. What you got?
Yeah, this is from the 916 Heat Knicks. What year is it? What year are you in?
This ain't the 90s anymore, right? This ain't the 90s. I mean, those teams don't even face each other. I mean, they did play each other this past year, I do believe, but I'm not feeling
Maybe
that.
at one time it was a really good rivalry.
Right. It's
one time.
Right. When Pat Riley jumped ship, left New York and went to Miami, and Lonzo Mourning, Patrick.
Yeah.
Those were the days, but not so much since then.
Let's see. So Herder's playing tonight, right?
Yeah, we got Herder.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Herder's in. It'll be interesting to see the starting lineup. So you got Herder, you got Monk, you got Davion, Colby Jones, Sasha, JaVale McGee. You still got some guys who, this is a big game for it tonight.
Mm-hmm. So is Herder's spot in the starting lineup based on what you saw last night? Would you say, the starting lineup is intact again?
Yeah, I think so. Because, sure, the shot wasn't falling, but Herder brings so much to this team, even if the shot isn't falling, because the defense always has to respect it. And what we saw from him last night was a compete level that Mike Brown wanted to see. Physicality, getting over screens, getting downhill with the ball. Don't, just settle for a three. And so I thought he played pretty well last night. Sure, he had some defensive lapses out there, but I thought he played pretty well.
When we go to a game, if we go like my wife and I, Sheena, and maybe we go with our daughter, Lonnie, and her husband, something like that, whoever we go with, we play a game like, all right, who's going to be the high scorer? Just and everybody picks.
Yeah.
That would be really fun tonight because
this would be a tough one, right? It's wide open.
Yeah.
And, you got Malik playing, and I would say him, but I don't know how much he's going to play. Like, we don't even know how many minutes Herder and Malik are going to play tonight.
Patrick Donaldson on the chat says, my guy, Keon Ellis.
Ooh, it might be a Keon sighting. Yeah, it might be his chance to go out there for 15 or 20.
It would be nice for Herder to knock down a few threes tonight.
Yeah. Just because we're hearing all the chatter. We're talking about it on our show. We're hearing about it on social media. He hit his first one last night, and I was like, yes, here we go. And then he missed his last four. And so Herder needs to hit the three for his own mental health, I think, for his own emotion. Man, he gets a 4 or 5. Maybe that's why he's playing tonight.
Yeah.
For Mike Brown, it might be a Kevin Herder kind of game. Kevin, get him up, He needs to see some falling tonight.
Mm-hmm. I think I would have to. Who would you go with, though, Kyle?
What
do you got here?
Leading scorer?
Yeah. Who's going to, again, the Kings are without Duarte, without Fox, without Lyles, without Murray, and without Domas tonight.
Yeah.
So who's going to be their leading scorer? It's got to be Sasha's probably going to be.
Don't forget Harrison is playing too.
Yeah,
he is playing, but I think he's first
points,
quarter.
4 rebounds. Right?
What if he go for like 30 tonight? Take that, Whitey.
He's not
Take
going to
that.
waste it on the preseason.
Nah, you're right. He's only going to play first quarter probably. I'm gonna go with. This is tough, right?
It
This
is.
is really tough. Because I don't think the bigger names are going to play a whole lot. Like, I think second half is going to be all back of the rotation guys. You know what? I'm going to go with Jalen Noel.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to just go. I think second half, he might go off for like 15 points tonight.
Now, is he playing for a spot here or maybe a spot with another team?
That's a great question. Right now, he's on the roster. Right now, he's part of the plans, but that could always change. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think his spot is guaranteed at all.
Because don't teams sometimes, if they know what's going on, they'll give a guy a chance.
Right,
to
give a guy a
showcase himself
chance,
little
and
bit.
yeah, exactly. And so right now, like I said, their roster, he's on it, but we haven't seen much of him so far this preseason, and maybe they'll, give him a chance to play elsewhere. And so I'm not sure.
Yeah, Monk gets a vote from Patrick Donaldson. Jess Escoto says Folsom Lake Ford. Jordan Ford.
Ford, I like that. The hometown guy. Why not? Why not?
Compio. I agree with Compio. Herder's shooting form is off. His right elbow's too low. Whatever it is, Compio. But he kind of has a funky looking shot even when it's going in.
Yeah, he does have his release is a little different, and
his shot is a little flatter than you typically see from a guy who shoots as high a percentage as he does.
and I was watching that last night, and I was thinking the same thing. Like, I know it's his shot. That's how he shoots.
Yeah.
But it's failing him right now. And so look at Compio being a
he's right.
lethal shooter out there, shooting guru out there.
Needs to get the elbow higher. That will get him a better arc. I don't know, but, it's one of those things. Reminds me of LaMelo when he went to the Hornets.
Yeah.
And, the Lakers had a lot of problems with Lonzo and his shot.
Yep.
And LaMelo was drafted, when they take him third? Was he the third pick?
I thought he was second. Was he second? Yeah. Who? Edwards?
Because didn't the Warriors have
Wiseman?
second?
That was Wiseman. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, he goes there and they say, "Hey, we're going to work on your shot." LaMelo says, "No, I'm good."
Right. He says,
no,
but
and he's a pretty good shooter.
Yeah, he's a pretty good shooter,
but he can shoot it.
And a lot of times you don't see players when they get to the NBA change their shot. Lonzo Ball did change his shot, and he became a better shooter.
He became a really good one.
Yeah, he became a really good one. But Kevin Herter, that ship has sailed, right? I mean, his shot is his shot right now, right?
Especially because he's shown he made it last year, the threes at a 40% clip.
Yes, yes, exactly.
And aren't there guys, coaches, and I mean, they have so many coaches now. Every team has so many coaches that there are videographers, and if something were off, like Compio suggests, and appreciate it, Compio,
right?
There's going to be a coach going to say, "Hey, Kevin, look at this. You see this?"
Exactly. Yeah. And Kevin is the son of a coach. I mean, he's been working on his shot since day one. If something's off, I'm sure he would see it on the film too and make the correction.
So you don't want to have, maybe you could get Kevin to come on, and then we could have Compio call in, and he could get.
Dude, Compio is killing me right now. Check the YouTube chat and see what he just said.
All right. My cousin's husband is Ray Allen. Yeah.
Did you also stay at a Holiday Inn Express, Compio?
I'm buying it. I'm buying it all the way.
That's what we can have on the show one day. Would you like Ray Allen? I'm good friends. Ray's my guy. And
we should get him on.
Let's
first.
see if he knows who
Compio
Compio is, right? Like, hey, have you heard of this guy Compio?
Yeah. So we got you against Carmichael Dave in golf, and we got you against Compio in the race.
In the race to get the Sugar Ray out there.
Compio
coming off the top rope. He's my cousin's husband. That's funny, man. I love you, Compio.
Pretty good form.
Yes.
Who's got the prettiest jump shot you've ever seen? All things considered, you could answer.
I think Clay's is pretty.
That's it.
Clay's is pretty.
It.
Yeah, his is compact. It's tight.
Like
it's smooth.
How do you shoot the basketball? Well, look at that. You see that?
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you do it.
Not Steph. Not Ray Allen. No, but I think Clay. Not Reggie Miller.
Completely.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I feel good
it
about
is like
that.
rock solid.
Yeah.
Everything.
It really is. And funny thing about Ray Allen, and he's talking to me about shooting. He said, because people are, you got to set your feet, you got to square up. He said the only thing he thought about, and it's when he hit that big shot for Miami against San Antonio.
Yeah.
The only thing he thought about.
No, I'm saying he traveled.
Oh, did he? Oh, all right. I thought you're like wrapping up.
No. Yeah. But I'm kidding.
I don't know if he traveled or not. I was a Heat fan. I like LeBron back then. But no, he said the only thing he ever worried about was getting his shoulders squared up. The lower body, it could be twisted, whatever. But as long as you get your shoulders squared up, he was good. And that's what we saw on that game winner against San Antonio.
Mm-hmm. I'll take a quick break. When we come back and get ready to take you to Kings basketball, the Utah Jazz, tonight's foes, they have stopped selling a particular shirt at their arena, and you will understand why when we tell you the story next year with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com. 0 down with approved credit.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Yeah, listen, if you're going to the game tonight, get there early because you might get to play. No, the Kings just announced, Kyle Draper shared it with us, that a handful of Kings will not be playing. No surprise, final preseason game they played last night. By the way, Kyle, back-to-back games in the preseason, should they not be outlawed? Isn't that just dumb?
Yeah, it's crazy. I just don't get that. I don't know if there's concerts or something, an arena schedule or something like that. It just does not make sense. Back-to-back preseason games?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense.
So no Duarte, no Fox, no Lyles, no Murray, and no Sabonis tonight. So we've been having some fun trying to figure out who's going to be the leading scorer for the Kings tonight. Utah's resting Jordan Clarkson, John Collins, Lauri Markkanen, and Kelly Olynyk. You know the story of Jordan Clarkson when he was on local TV and they didn't know who he was?
Oh, yeah, that was
the funniest thing. They asked him, because it was something about when they were allowing people back in the arena during the pandemic or something, and the reporters outside the arena talking to people, do you go to many Utah games? And he's like, yeah. I went to every one.
What, are you a season ticket? Oh, that should have been the follow-up, right? Yeah.
I was at every game. There's something going on at Utah that I saw this today. Maybe you saw it. I think it's funny. A lot of teams are selling Jumpman T-shirts. I don't know if they have them here. So it's the Jumpman logo, and it just has the name of the team underneath. And fans in Utah are going, hey, you can't have a Utah Jazz shirt with Jordan over it.
How many times did he break their hearts? You know, it's like the Kings having a Robert Horry shirt or something like that.
So they've actually stopped selling. They finally said, okay, because Jazz fans are like, are you kidding? Do you realize how insulting that is to have that shirt in our arena? Which, by the way, as you pointed out to me, is the Delta Center.
Yeah, they changed the name to the Delta Center. Let me ask you, if you're a Jazz fan and you buy that shirt, can you call yourself a true Jazz fan? I'm just saying. I'm just asking. You know, I'm trying to determine who's a real fan and not.
It could be that you just made a mistake. If that's your team and you love your team, I'll tell you what, if you do that, but then once someone explains it to you, like this is why you shouldn't wear that, if you still want to wear the shirt, then no, you're not a fan.
You're not a fan. You know, I'm looking at the YouTube chat, and they're excited that we actually pay attention to them. Those are our people out there.
Yeah.
Tall Chinese guy says, L.A., Golden State, Utah to finish preseason, Utah, Golden State, L.A. to start the season. Stupid. I never even thought about it like that, but he's right. Like the last 3 teams you play in the preseason are the first 3 you play in the regular season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so much of it now is just based on TV, how they can get the most people to watch,
I guess. But
and
Utah?
I think well, no, not Utah, but I mean, they had to fill it in around that. But I think that's the main reason why they're playing the Warriors so much in the preseason and also so much early in the season.
Yeah. And travel maybe or something like that. I don't know, but I'm tired of seeing the Warriors. I know we'll do it for real a week from tomorrow, and it'll be exciting. But we don't only see them Friday, but then 5 days later, Wednesday too. The following Wednesday, and so.
So how much do you think these teams defensively and other ways strategically, there are other things that they'll be doing in the regular season that the Kings and the Warriors didn't show each other during a game last night?
I think a lot of it. I
would think so.
Yeah, right. And tonight also, we see Utah coming up on Wednesday. You don't want to give away so much. I mean, and so, for Mike Brown, he's talked about how it's all about them. It's not even about what the opponent is doing. But best believe once the regular season comes, it's a lot about what the opponent is doing. And so I think tonight you're looking for, individuals to step up, units, how they play together, that kind of thing. I don't think you're unveiling any new plays or new out of timeout plays or out of bounds plays or anything like that tonight.
Yeah, I just think you'd like to get some of your guys going a little bit. Herter and Sasha, chief among them.
Yes, I think those are the 2 guys, right? That need to have a solid game,
It'd go a long ways towards making everybody feel better about things if those guys had really good offensive nights.
You know what's interesting? Not only feel better about things, but feel better about this team. If Kevin Herter is Kevin Herter, who he was during the regular season, I'm feeling much better about the Kings to start the season. If Sasha shows what he showed over in Europe, I'm feeling much better. Like, Herter especially is a key member of what this team does, and we got to see him get going tonight.
You know why I'm more worried about Sasha than I am about Herter?
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm more worried about Sasha because if Sasha is not shooting well, I'm not sure what we do. If Herter continues to struggle, Compio is going to get on the horn with Ray Allen, and it's like, well, that's fixed. So
right.
I'm not so worried.
We got
about
Ray
that.
On speed dial,
Yeah.
Our guy Compio. No, you might be right about that in terms of Kevin Herter. He'll get that fixed. Sasha's the guy though, because it's a whole new system, a whole new league, and so I want to know, what did Mike Brown and them see in him? Other than the 3-point shooting, like their assessment of him, did they, like you said earlier, did they understand that he would have some defensive liabilities? And so even though he struggled defensively, they expected that. Maybe they didn't expect him to struggle so much offensively. And how does he play his way into the rotation? If he plays offense like he did over in Europe, if he starts knocking down shots, then maybe you play him more because the defense you already knew about, if you know what I mean.
He's a great shooter. Hasn't shown it yet, but you probably saw more of him than I did. You didn't have to see him much playing a EuroLeague to know that, wow, this guy is an elite shooter. Plus the way he moves without the ball, you realize, okay, he can play in our offense. But I have to think that when Mike Brown, was it one game into the preseason when he said, we don't know if he's going to be in the rotation.
Yeah.
I think they had to realize, okay, this guy's got some things that may take him a while to figure out.
Right. But was it just defensively, or because after that first game, he was great offensively? We thought, I came on here and said, I'm not worried about him offensively. What he does offensively, doesn't matter to me. I'm taking that back right now. I need to see him offensively play well tonight.
Yeah, things are maybe snowballing. And I know you get mad because I always bring this up, but you did that great interview with Monty McNair, and when where I'm going, you asked about his offense, and it's he spent 20 minutes, and then you asked about his defense. He's an improving rebounder, and that's an honest answer.
Oh
Bless him for that's an honest answer. So they knew going in.
Yeah, they knew, and I think what you're seeing is it's not about whether he makes a shot or not. It's how he looks with the rest of the guys. And right now, he does not look like he's part of the unit. Like, it doesn't flow smoothly when he's out there. It looks like he's standing around, unsure of where to go.
Maybe just a half a beat slow.
Half a beat slow, exactly. And so I know for a fact when you talk to NBA coaches, the results don't matter as much as the process and how you play and what you do. You live and die with the makes and misses. Like the Harrison Barnes 3 against Golden State, you'll take that shot a million times in a million. It just didn't go in. It's more about, the process and the flow of it, and was it a good shot, not whether it went in or not.
Mm-hmm. So, what did you think of the defensive issues he had last night? Mike Brown goes out there. I mean, what do you think the issue is? He's just not recognizing what's going on, just not familiar enough with the scheme, or just not sure?
Yeah, a little bit of all of that, right?
Because those instances last night, correct me if I'm wrong, it wasn't that he got beaten.
Right.
It was just he wasn't in the right place off the ball.
And, I think when you look at it, he has a high basketball IQ offensively. I think what they want to see is a high basketball IQ defensively. That, I sent you the video last night. We were texting, and then on that play where Mike Brown came out, basically met him in midcourt and talked to him.
It was Brendan Nunez.
Brendan Nunez, our guy. Yeah, he put that out there. And, what Mike Brown saw is, you didn't get beat, Sasha, but there was no resistance. You got to see there's a wide open guy on the wing here, and you got to try to deter that pass. Instead, he's so tunnel vision, so locked in, the IQ isn't there that, I at least got to hedge a little bit so that pass isn't as easy.
Yeah, he's just having a hard time getting acclimated.
Yeah.
I think I would expect to be fine, especially once the shots start going in.
And that's why I think tonight's a huge night for him. I said it, even before the injuries came out. This is a 25 minute night, 25 to 30 minute night, I think, tonight for Sasha.
Coach Campio says they saw the scoring. They knew what he was defensively. There just aren't a lot of Euros that are defensive minded. And then TCG says NBA uses a different ball than the EuroLeague. Makes a difference. Once he acclimates, his shot will be fine. But he put on some incredible display at practice. Right, all the Kings players were.
There was no issue at practice or anything like that, according to them. He's beating their, records in practice and everything. And we saw in game 1 of the preseason, the ball wasn't an issue in that game, right? He was 4 or 5, I think it was, from 3-point range. And so I don't want to use the ball as an excuse. I just think he's unsure of where he belongs right now in this offense.
The greatest thing about tonight's game is it's the last preseason game.
Oh my gosh. Do they need to win this one?
No.
Okay, I'm just talking for your peace of mind and confidence in the team.
What
or
do
anything.
You think?
No, not in, especially no guys playing or anything. The final score shouldn't matter in this one. It's, do guys look good or not?
Yeah, and even if they, heaven forbid, get off to a slow start, I won't believe that it had anything to do with them not winning a game in the preseason.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. Zero.
What we are looking for.
Would have been nice to win last night.
Right.
Though.
It would have been nice. Kevin Huerter, my guy, I need you tonight. Sasha, I need you tonight. Those are the two guys tonight.
Colby Jones going to be your leading scorer tonight. Colby Jones.
Who did I say? I forget who I said for that. Oh, Jalen Noel.
That's right.
Yeah, keep an eye on him. Second half, Jalen, I'm going to call
and I got Sasha with 23 and Keon Ellis with a 25-point.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Is that the bold take of the day? My gosh.
Thanks for being with us. We're back with you tomorrow. Game night. Scott Marsh, Henry Turner next right here on Sactown Sports.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to give coach options, give him guys that can help us win in a variety of areas. Obviously, our top guys are going to play every game, but there's going to be other times, whether it's injuries, matchups, we've got to have